I'm live. I'm doing it live.
So,
Okay. So I was just reading Kite's message. I started playing a game. I'm sorry. I got unfocused. Everybody, let me get to the box office. I got unfocused. Now I only have half a glass iced tea, and I haven't gone pee yet. Yeah. So we are here live. We're live, or we're doing it live. Kite has got to go to sleep, unfortunately, and he says, "Happy New Year, Tony. I have to sleep, but hopefully you see this and have a great time tonight." Also, I went and saw Godzilla -1, and I was appalled. How dare Western cinemas have a decent movie in them, especially one that makes Godzilla himself feel powerful and monstrous again. Zebek is here. Hello. Happy New Year's, Tony. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to everyone. We are here for the countdown, Joan. The movie countdown. Joan's a little scared, a little skittish. There's fireworks going off. It's okay. It's all right, babe. Yeah, it's not going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt you. You're inside. They're not going to bomb the house. You're good. Everybody's here, Joan. Everybody's here to see you. Can we see Joan? Let me just check. Joan shot. No. There you go. That's better. We can see Joan's face. There we go. So yeah. Holly M. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, Holly. Welcome to the stream. What went on? Oh, I went to Level Up Entertainment on Saturday. Great store in the Hamilton Mall in Mays Landing. The 80s still live there. They got the punk rock store 2 doors down. Just a great time. I always sell well there, and but the kicker was I only had about an hour of sleep that night. I ate an entire pork loin, except for what I gave to Joan, and I couldn't get to sleep for some reason. Isn't that weird? And then I had my barbecue adventure with the rat that ate through my gas line. It was a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. But I got through it. I got through it, Joan. You want to sit over here? Come on. Come on, babe. There you go. You know, let everybody see it. Now, let me get your collar off. It's New Year's time. New Year's time, doggy should relax. So we're going to go over the movies of the year and talk about what was good, what sucked, and hopefully we make it to midnight and we can do a countdown. We can do a countdown, John. Hold still, hold still. Hold still, let me get her loose. Jesus. All right. You feel better? There you go. Now you can sit. Relax. There you go. You're all shook out. So we're going to count down the movies of 2023. I have several different lists, of course. I have a list by day. Are you out already? We just started. I need you here to fill in when I go to the bathroom, which isn't going to be too long from now. So you got to stay. Can you stay? Can you stay? You're thinking about it. Okay. So, yeah, we got lots to talk about. Lot happened in movies this year. A lot happened in Hollywoke. You can sit over here. Sit over here. Ruining the show already, Joe. You've ruined it. 2023 is just about to end, so you're going out like you came in, ruining my show. I know. You're very excited. But let's Zebek says LOL. Let's get into the box office for today. The last week of the box office we can look at. Finally, I'm back on Sundays, so the box office makes a little bit of sense, as much as it ever makes sense. Zebek says, hi, Joan. Number 1 is Wonka. Was number 2 last week, and is now number 1. Wacky. Very wacky. At 23.9 million. Which ain't that great, but it's actually up, according to this. What did it do last week? That's up? Are you kidding me? Holy F, it is up. Look at that. It's up by 5 million. Holy crap. That's crazy. Wow, Wonka must be pretty good. Seems to have legs. It's at 134 million domestic, 244 million internationally. It's doing well internationally. This is not bad. Not bad. This looks like a hit. You know, not a mega hit, but I mean, I don't even think it cost that much money. What was it? 125 mil. Yeah, that's money, baby. That's money. That's $100 million profit. Not too shabby. 150. Not too shabby, Wonka. I didn't like it. I gotta be honest. I did not like the trailer at all. But, you know, I'm a huge fan of Gene Wilder, the original Willy Wonka. But, okay. I guess people like this thing. Number 2 is Aquaman. Dropped from last week, 19.5 million. Holly says, I want to see that movie. I want to see that movie at a principal. At a principal. Some movies don't need a remake or prequel. Do you mean I won't go see that movie at a principal? Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. Holly says she won't go see that movie in principle. Some movies don't need a remake or prequel. Yeah. I'm very much against prequels, Holly. I don't know if you haven't heard my rants on that. I don't think prequels work. I really don't. She's like, no, I won't go see it. I won't. No, I got you. I got you. There's a bit of a delay. Yeah, there's not a movie I can think of that needs a prequel. Ever. You just don't need prequels. What you can do are what's called flashbacks. You can do a flashback scene in a movie. You don't have to go through a whole movie to show us anything. It's going backwards in time. All right, Joan. All right, you go away. Joan, everybody. Out for the stream already. Oh, when the fireworks come, then you'll be sorry you left. Anyhow. Sorry, finger's not working, says Holly. No worries. Yeah, so prequels, I think, are very unnecessary. I mean, even for this, it's basically a different movie. Let's be honest. Right? You could have done another movie about a whimsical chocolatier who captures a different kind of short little guy, played by Hugh Grant, I guess. There was a big controversy about that because, you know, little people were mad. Because Hollywood was all about, the voice of Cleveland is not a black man, and the voice of Apu is not an Indian man. Well, Hugh Grant is playing a little guy. Why isn't it Peter Dinklage? But then Peter Dinklage is like, whoa, why do you always cast us as little people? You can't please anybody, which is why you should listen to no one. That's what I say, Hollywood. But Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, I mean, this movie, I feel a little bad for Jason Momoa because he seemed to take to the Aquaman role well, even though I don't think I would have cast him as Aquaman. I just wouldn't have done Aquaman. Aquaman's not a great character in my view. Nah. DC kind of propped him up because, you know, the word is he is a copy of Namor, which is something DC and Marvel did over the years. They would copy their popular characters. Oh, excuse me. Zivik. Peter should only be cast. Sorry, this little heart symbol. Peter should only be cast as a giant going forward. Peter. Who's Peter? Peter should only be cast as a giant going forward. Peter. I missed. Right over my head. Yeah, it's just the whole casting thing is just ridiculous. Actors act. That's the great thing about actors. You can give them some role, put them in a bunch of makeup. I mean, Christian Bale played Dick Cheney in a movie, and he didn't look anything like Dick Cheney. And he, emaciated himself for parts. He buffed up for other parts. Oh, Dinklage. Right. Sorry. I forgot my own thought already. Peter Dinklage should only be cast as a giant going forward. Yeah, like that was weird too, right? In the MCU. Oh, we'll cast him as a giant. Why? Why wouldn't you cast him as Puck from Alpha Flight, who was actually a little person superhero? The woke ruin everything, don't they? They just ruin everything. Everything woke turns to S. But getting back to Jason, I mean, he looked good in the role. He kind of made it his own. He should have had blonde hair. Again, I don't know why they didn't just... Why not just do it like the comic book if you're gonna do it? But this should have been Namor. He should have been Namor. Because that was the original character that was popular. Namor was popular, and DC said, oh, we got to do a Namor. So they came up with Aquaman. Basically, Waterman. Lame. Yeah, so I always thought Aquaman was lame. They always made fun of him. This is closer to the Peter David version of Aquaman that he actually tried to make him cool in the comics, like sort of a not a retcon, but a kind of a redesign. But still, the character was never that great. Just, look, when you build characters and stories, it's all about the foundation. It's all about coming out of the gate. You F that up, forget it. You can put all the money in the world behind it. It'll never be good. So Aquaman was never good, in my view. Yeah, the first movie did okay. They did a bunch of reshoots. So what? So what? There's plenty of okay movies coming out of Hollywood. Like watchable fare that any normie who hadn't quite seen a movie in a few years would be going, oh, that was all right. Holly M. Amber Heard ruined that movie. All of her bad publicity. Yeah, that absolutely. Absolutely. That was one of the reasons that I wouldn't say it. I mean, half the reason was to go see her at first, and then after Johnny Depp, I don't want to support her in any way. No way. No way would I support her. As hot as she is, and she's still damn hot. So hot. I just can't do it. She's just too... She has somehow broken the crazy to hot scale. It's broken. It's broken. She's like on a different scale of craziness, I think. So they should have cut her out. I think they would have been wise to recast her. I've always said, Holly, they should have deep-faked her out of the movie completely. Kept her body in, put it in a different actress's face, redub it. Would have been easy. The technology's there. Somebody will do it. Somebody will do it online. Take them an hour. Holly, but her soul is as black as coal. LOL. Yeah, but she's very hot. It's true. So hot. Anyhow, so 251 million. Is that money? What was the production on this? No, it is not money, because the production budget was 205 million, and certainly the advertising cost more than 46 million, probably. Now, I've heard some people say, the formula of doubling the budget is not particularly accurate because, again, it's Hollywood padding its books to keep the money, but you can only pad so much before they come after you. I don't know if they'll pad it that much. I don't know if they'll outright lie, but they can pay people again. They can pay Jason and all his castmates for going out and promoting the damn thing. And they can pay all the executives again to promote and do work like anybody in LA does any work. Oh my God, they've probably been checked out since Thanksgiving at this point. Next up is Migration, stays at number 3, 17.2 million. This is one of the voices is Danny DeVito, $100 million. That's probably not money for a cartoon. Budget is 72 million. I mean, maybe they advertised the damn thing, so I can't imagine this thing. I mean, it probably has to make 150 mil. Number 4, The Color Purple, which is listed as a premiere, but technically it like premiered on Christmas Day, which was Monday. 45 million so far, 13 million this weekend. They touted this as the highest grossing film on Christmas since 2009. Can it get any more specific than that? But remember, this isn't a remake of The Color Purple. See, first The Color Purple was a book. Then they made it into a movie with Whoopi Goldberg. Then a few years ago, I guess it was, they made it into a musical for Broadway. This is an adaptation of the musical for a movie. Get it? Yeah, I don't get it either. I don't know who would see this. So I assume there was music in it. To me, like Broadway shows converted into movies are usually DOA. They just don't have what a live performance will have. And they're often laughable because there's a stiffness to them that they can't seem to shake unless they really make it cinematic. And it looked like someone filmed a Broadway show from the trailer I saw. I mean, not that it was on stage, but it just seems stiff as hell. Just like a lot of these, converted plays. I don't know. It just seemed weird to put music to The Color Purple, right? Does anybody think that's weird? I think that's weird. Because what was it about? It was about a woman who was abused and overcame her abuser. Like, what kind of jaunty song are you going to sing about that? I was abused and now I'm not. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. And it looks like they took some liberties with the stories anyway. Although maybe they took liberties with I only saw the Whoopi Goldberg movie, so maybe they took liberties with that from the book, or maybe it's more like the book. I don't know. All I know is this is the 4th thing they made out of this. Like, what's next? The Color Purple, the series? Oh, God. They're going to do that, aren't they? That'll be awful. Number 5 is Anyone But You. This looked like a not unpleasant rom-com. And I'm not a rom-com guy at all. 9 million. But I will say the leads look good. They look good, and they look like to have a bit of chemistry. It's Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell, the Top Gun guy. They look good. And they seem to have a good energy. So if I got dragged to something on a date, I would probably tolerate this. Holly, again, it diminishes the original. Next is a cartoon for The Color Purple. Yeah. Hey, kids, this Saturday morning, tune in to The Color Purple with special guests, the Harlem Globetrotters and Scooby-Doo. That's what they used to do back in the day. Scooby-Doo had, I think they brought it back too. Scooby-Doo had celebrity cameos. This is the most hilarious thing ever. Don Knotts was on Scooby-Doo. Cher, because Cher's so old. Phyllis Diller, that was another one. You probably have no idea who half these people are. Oh, God. I can't think of the rest of them. There were a couple real odd ones there, too. Comedians you could understand on Scooby-Doo. And it was the exact same show. They'd always use the same animation of the characters running, but then they'd add the special guest star running along with them. And then the Harlem Globetrotters were a guest on Scooby-Doo, but then they spun them off into their own series, where I think they had their own dog, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think they somehow got a dog or a pet because that was like a standard in Saturday morning cartoons. You had to throw in a pet or a talking car or something. Holly, I remember that, and I loved that. I used to run home from school to see it. Zevek's Demise, the monkeys on Scooby Doo. Oh yeah, were they on too? I love the monkeys. The monkeys was one of my favorite shows growing up. I used to watch that all the time, and I love the monkeys' music still. I know it's like it's not the Beatles, but I thought the songs were great. I celebrate their entire catalog, and I'm not ashamed. Daydream Believer. Although my favorite song from the Monkees is a weird song they do. Mickey Dolenz does it. It's almost like a rap. It's I'm Going Down. I don't know if it's a cover, but it's very jazzy. It's very not a Monkey song. Holly M, I met Davy Jones. Oh, good for you. Was he nice? I assume he was nice. All the celebrities are nice. Zebix, I love the Monkees. How can you not? I love the opening song. I love the final credit song. Is great. Zebix to Mind. Auntie Griselda. Auntie Griselda. Was that from the show? Man, you're testing my limits. You're testing my memory limits. Auntie Griselda. Or that's a song, isn't it? That's one of their songs. Oh, gosh. I wish I could play music on my live streams. That would be fun. I'd have music in the whole thing if I could play music and get away with it. Holly M, yes, he was very nice. And you do him... and you do have a lag on your end. Yeah, I know. I don't think that can be helped. Or maybe it can. I don't know. Perhaps one day I will learn the technology. Unlikely. Unlikely. Bit of a boomer when it comes to this. You're lucky I'm on. We had one day where, oh man, it went cuckoo bananas. I had to shut the whole thing down. Aurelius is here. Hello, Aurelius. Just stopping by to wish you a Happy New Year, Tony D. Well, thank you. Happy New Year to you, my friend. Keep writing those books as an ex-Roman emperor that you are. Very popular. I just bought one for my nephew for Christmas. Zebek's Demise. Just the way streaming works. All right. I don't know. I wonder if I got a T1 line. Would it be like instantaneous? Probably not for you then. So I wouldn't have the lag, but maybe you would. I don't know. Number 6, The Boys in the Boat. This is a rowing movie. I know you love that. I know you love rowing movies. 8.3 million. I mean, it's a historical movie. It looks fine. If you're into rowing, I guess. Some famous rowing team I know nothing about. 21 million so far in the domestic box office. Did it start last week? No, I guess it extended weekend or whatever. But 8.3 million for the weekend. So I guess it started probably on Christmas. It looks fine if you want one of those inspiring movies where people play sports. It's just they're running out of sports. So they're down to rowing. I can't wait for Curling at the Line. The big curling movie. That'll be next. And then, I don't know, lawn darts. The Lawn Dart Championship of 1978. The story of how people got stabbed by lawn darts. I'll tell you a lawn dart story. I think I may have segued into that on purpose. But so when I was a kid, we got to play with lawn darts because it was the 70s and that was considered okay back then. So lawn darts, for those of you who don't know, are exactly what they sound like. Take Zebek. Men with Bones was a curling movie. No. Seriously? Anyhow, picture a giant dart about this long, about 2.5 feet long. Now the end of it was kind of pointed. It wasn't It wasn't like a total sharpened point, but it definitely would have stabbed you if you threw it, because it was weighted on the end. Because the idea, you would play like horseshoes, but you would throw the dart up in the air, and then it would come down, and you would try to get closest to the circle. Men with Brooms. Oh, okay. That was a curling movie. Civic. Wow. That's crazy. I bet it was a Canadian production, too. So, me and my cousins, which is every story from my childhood, me and my cousins were playing lawn darts at my uncle's, and I was about 8. And my brother is 4 years younger than me. So I'm at that age where I'm beating him up, and, all the time. And my parents are like, leave your brother alone. He's annoying. He's 4. So we were making my brother fetch the lawn darts. And we did the lawn darts things until we got bored of it. And then everybody kind of just walked away. And I got bored, and I lost track of my brother, as I often did, because I was 8 and I didn't think to watch out for him. And we had sent him to go get the darts, but we decided not to play anymore. So I sat under a tree. And I'm lying there looking up at the sky or whatever, kind of relaxing in the 70s because I have no internet or nothing fun to do. And I look up, and my brother's up in the tree. Now, it's not very high, so it was like one of these trees a 4-year-old could climb. And I'm looking up there, and I'm like, oh, hey, how'd you get up there? And then I see he has a lawn dart in his hand, and he drops it. And it nearly hit me. I mean, it came like this close to my head. Well, I got up, and I pulled him out of the tree, and I just started wailing on him. And of course, at that moment, my mother came out. Why are you beating up your brother? He nearly killed me with a lawn dart. Anyhow, that's my lawn dart story that I like to tell. So I await the movie. Better. It's in its second week. It's a wrestling movie. I thought the wrestling fans would come out for it. Did $5 million this weekend, 16 overall. In its second week. But it's a low budget thing, I guess. I don't know, man. I don't think this is money. Let's see. Yeah, $15 million budget. 15.9. I mean, that's making its budget back by a couple of $100,000, but I would have thought this would have done a lot better. I would have bet on this movie. Now it's from A24, so maybe they didn't spend the kind of money you'd expect to promote it, but still, they had to spend a few million. So I don't think that's money yet. Maybe it just breaks even, or makes a little bit of money. I don't know. Number 8, it premiered Ferrari. This is another shocker too. This is Adam Driver. Now it's from Neon, but it's a car movie, and a lot of people were psyched for this. Doesn't appear to be doing very well. 13 million worldwide. It only did 4 million here this weekend. It's in its first week. I guess they're counting Christmas, but that doesn't seem very good for Ferrari. Not for something that probably is an Oscar contender, for Adam Driver. That seems really low. Where are the gearheads that come out to see Ferrari? That's weird. Maybe next week it'll pick up. I don't know. I find it hard to believe that more people saw The Color Purple the musical than Ferrari, or even Aquaman, really. Number 9, The Hunger Games: The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. This movie actually, I think, did okay. I mean, it did $312 million on a budget of $100 million, allegedly. So that's money, any way you slice it. Holly M. Adam Driver's a good actor. Yeah, he's pretty good, I guess. I don't know, he's a little tainted for me because he was in one of those Star Wars movies that I hate so much. But I didn't see it. So, I don't hate him like I hate Natalie Portman. I absolutely can't stand Natalie Portman. And it's mostly because of the Star Wars movie she was in, which I did see. I saw the first one, and I was just appalled. I couldn't. One of the things I was appalled by the Phantom Menace was how poorly Natalie Portman acted. I'm just watching it going, why did they cast her at all? Like, why is she an actress? That's how appalled I was at her performance in Phantom Menace. She's just awful in that. Absolutely awful. People argue it's not her fault, but come on. Zimmix, I liked Adam Driver in Inside Llewellyn Davis. Oh, man. I saw that movie. Which one was he? Was he his friend? Holly, I am not into Star Wars. I did 1 and 2, then stopped. Interesting. Some say you stopped at the best one. If 1 and 2, you mean Luke Skywalker's movies. Because The Empire Strikes Back is considered the best. Back in the 80s, we complained about Return of the Jedi. We complained a lot about it. The nerds were very divided about Return of the Jedi because we were very upset about the Ewoks. They were supposed to be Wookiees, by the way, initially. And he changed them to Ewoks. Get it? Wookiee, Ewok. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Holly, I'm Star Trek, LOL. I'm OG Star Trek. Anything else, I go, meh. I would say the second best Star Trek, or the best Star Trek of the modern era was Deep Space Nine. I've come to that conclusion. I agree with Razor Fist on that. It was pretty damn good. The most consistent, certainly, of all the new stuff. Zebek. He was the guy that was sleeping on the couch because he needed a place to sleep for the night. Oh, okay. Man, it's been a while. Zebek sang the Goofy Kennedy song. Oh, now I vaguely remember him. Now I want to see that movie again just for him. That was an odd movie, Inside Llewellyn Davis. Coen Brothers, though, they really craft a film, though. I like how they craft a film. They're one of those filmmakers. They're interesting even when the film's not that great. It's just interesting to watch. You get a slice of life, or at least their version of it, that's kind of cool. Like Wes Anderson and Christopher Nolan, even when they're not great, there's still something there, I think. But anyhow, the Ballad of Hunger Games. I hate this friggin' franchise. Now that Rachel Zegler's in it, I don't know. They made me hate it more. At least with Jennifer Lawrence, I'd be like, ooh, maybe I'll go see Jennifer Lawrence's hot body. But now, like, ugh, Rachel Zegler. I still got to see No Hard Feelings to see Jennifer Lawrence naked. I still haven't seen it. Number 10 is The Boy and the Heron. Everybody raved about this movie. Not as much as Godzilla, but... So, it's in its 4th week, $2.5 million. Not a tremendous amount of money, $130 million, but that's probably really good for a foreign-made cartoon, because they don't pay people like they do here. I don't think they have the unions, or maybe they do, but they're probably not the same. So that's probably money. What's the budget? Let's see if there's a budget here. No budget listed. And then, of course, Godzilla Minus One had a $15 million budget, $2.3 million this week, $68 million worldwide. Everybody's raving about this movie, so I gotta see it. I gotta see it at some point. It looks cool as hell. I like the timing. I mean, Kite liked it, so there you go. Number 12, Poor Things. I have no interest in seeing this movie. $2.3 million. I'd like to see this movie crash and burn. $10.3 million, mostly because Mark Ruffalo's in it, and I kind of soured on him. I defended him a little bit, but now I just can't stand him. Holly, everyone I know who have seen it and liked it, the Godzilla movie. Yep. Yep, everybody. I haven't heard one negative thing about that movie, and that's a really good sign. This movie, oh my god, the stories people have said about this movie. No, thank you. This is a movie for rich people. Rich people who think they're smart and want to feel like they saw something outrageous. So it kind of sickens me, the movie, because of what they do in it. It's a feminist Frankenstein where they put the brain of a toddler in the body of a prostitute. Just gross. Sounds like somebody's sick idea of a joke. Number 13, Trolls Band Together. 1.9 million. I don't know how these movies keep making money. 198 million. This thing's going to crack 200 million. That's more than the Marvels made. And I bet it didn't cost jack. Production budget 95 million? Really? Well, that sounds more of like a break-even situation, but ugh, Trolls. People like it. I don't know. Number 14, Wish. This is a bomb. It seems 176 million, and the cost was $200 million. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. Holly, they make money because people need something the kids can watch. I guess, but Trolls? Kids are still into Trolls? I gotta think the kids that are still into Trolls are really not up on current trends, right? They're the kids from, like, you know, way out in the sticks that just, they discovered Trolls last year and they thought, oh, cool, when everybody else, you know, they and this would happen in New Jersey, in South Jersey. We would get things late after the rest of the country got them, but we get them not quite as late as, say, the Midwest. But like, things would trickle down through into the discount stores, and then you would see them. And so that's what I think the deal is with Trolls. Like, some kid in the Midwest, 10 years after Trolls was popular, found a troll toy and went, oh, this is cool. What's this? I never heard of this. And parents said, oh, well, it's 95 cents. You can have it if you finish your dinner. And then, they sold it. It's like somewhere some kid is just discovering Cabbage Patch Kids or something and going, wow, what's this? But Wish, Wish, I bet they wish they never made this movie. Ha! That's a loser. That's a loser of a movie. It looks stupid. Look very woke. So, suck it, Disney. We'll be talking about Wish later. It's going to be on the list of movies you never should have made. Napoleon, $500,000. Oof. 206 million worldwide. I'm surprised at the budget on this thing. It says 200 million, but I gotta think it was more than that. But maybe. I mean, you should be able to do it for a lot less than 200 million. They used to make movies like this for $30 million. Zevik, they need a Garbage Pail Kids version of Trolls. That would be fun. I miss Wacky Packs. That was the my generation's version of Garbage Patch Kids, Wacky Packs. And I think they even tried to do some kind of cartoon with Wacky Packs, but it just couldn't possibly work. But I think a new Wacky Packs would be fun. Or a parody movie of, oh man, I had the idea one week. It left me. One of the movie tropes. Just a parody of woke movies would be enough. It'd be easy to do, right? You take a movie like a manly movie. We kind of did this in Hollywoke, another novel. Take like a super manly movie and just woke the F out of it, right? So you create the idea of the original movie in like 3 super hot movies, and then you release the 4th movie, and like really it's the first movie, and it's a complete utter disaster. Zevik, Top still makes Wacky Packs. They do? I have to get a pack. I don't know, everything's so expensive. I never buy anything anymore. Uh, Number 16 is The Holdovers, $180,000. It's Paul Giamatti. What was the budget on this thing? Did it have one? No. I bet it wasn't much. It made 19 million. I don't think it was that low, but I'd be surprised. All of Us Strangers. I think this is second week. It's in 6 theaters. Art house movie. It's about a gay romance. Again, like, it's very limited. It's very limited, and that's one of the things that proves how limited that audience is. And Hollywood just won't get it through their heads. And notice you won't hear them cry about a movie like this. When they make a movie that costs $400 million and nobody cares because you jammed a bunch of LGBTQIA2S plus stuff in it, oh, they'll cry all day. But when they actually make a low-budget movie like that, where's the outrage? Oh, right. You didn't make it, so you don't give a crap that this movie didn't really make much money. But it probably didn't cost much money either. I wonder if there's a budget here. Probably not. No. Usually when the budget is low, they don't want to crow about the budget unless it's really low, like Mariachi or something. Zone of Interest. This is going to be Oscar bait. It's in its 3rd week, but it's only in 6 theaters. Come on. If this movie's so good, why is it only in 6 theaters and it hasn't even made $500,000? No budget. Yeah, they won't list the budget on this because it's a total loss so far, I have to imagine. I mean, it's a period piece. It's about a big war with bad guys from Germany, I'll say, because apparently you can't talk about them on YouTube anymore. After that is The Marvels, $33,000. Why bother? It's in 160 theaters still? How is this movie in 160 theaters in Zone of Interest, the darling of Hollywood, isn't in anything? I mean, put a better movie in. Just take it out of theaters. Come on. You're trying to... It hasn't even cracked 200 million worldwide. This thing cost $300 million last time I checked. 274 it says here, but I've heard upwards of 300 million. Didn't even make its budget back, Disney. How does Bob Iger still have a job? How does Kathleen Kennedy still have a job with these kinds of numbers? Killers of the Flower Moon, $28,000, still in 37 theaters. Probably still playing from the premiere. The movie's so GD long. 3.5 hours. You're out of your mind, Martin. What are you doing? $156 million. You're a genius, but 3.5 hours, man. There's no way I'm going to the theaters for this. That should have been a factor in your thinking. And the studio should have made you cut it down. Under 3 hours, at least. At least. You can't tell me this thing is worth 3.5 hours. You can't. Will I see it? I don't know. Maybe over the course of several days. If I have time. Holly, I don't mind a long movie because you're paying money to see a movie. I don't know. Be careful what you wish for, Holly. I mean, the longest movie I've ever seen that really moved well was Hamlet by Kenneth Branagh, which I highly recommend. That movie moves. As really well paced. But something that's 3.5 hours, I can't imagine you're not going to feel that. I mean, even like Dances with Wolves, which is still a pretty good movie, that felt really long to me. So, I don't know. If you can't tell a thing in 2 hours, maybe make 2 movies. Once you hit the 3-hour mark, I mean, that's 2 90-minute movies. At 3.5 hours, there's just no excuse for it. That's definitely 2 movies. The only thing I'd sit through that long, Lord of the Rings. You can make Lord of the Rings as long as you want. I'd sit through it. I'd sit through it with the hobbits stopping to eat lunch. I mean, it's just entertaining to me, but Killers of the Flower Moon, I know what it is. It's going to be a whole lecture about how we screwed the Indians, and I get it. It was bad, but I don't need 3.5 hours to get that message. I just don't. You're not revealing anything new to me. Memory. This looked boring. It's in 2 theaters. It's in its 2nd week. I don't know how it's going to make any money. Zebek, Apocalypse Now, Redux was probably the longest movie I watched. That movie is like, I love that movie, by the way. It's a kind of movie, first off, if I got high, I would be high as balls in Apocalypse Now. But it's a kind of movie you could just watch, I think. I could just watch that movie over and over again. So, it follows a classic book. It's got so many awesome performances. It's got great music. I mean, I love everything about Apocalypse Now. So, and I did see that edition, I believe. That has all the act scenes, right? It has the French scene that was cut from the theatrical cut. I'll tell you another great movie, Hearts of Darkness, which is the documentary about the making of. And I hate the making of stuff, but that was really good. Because it was crazy what happened on the Apocalypse Now set. Zebek, probably the best way to watch it. It's good, though. Even and there's lots of explosions, there's action, you don't know who's going to die. I mean, it's awesome. And the ending is just freaky. You got to watch Hearts of Darkness too, though, because like Marlon Brando was supposed to lose a bunch of weight for the role of Colonel Kurtz, and he didn't. He just got fatter and fatter, and they had to put him all in black and put him in darkness to make it even work. So you'll notice in that movie you can't see his body. He's enormous. There's a shot of him in Hearts of Darkness where he gets off a helicopter, and you could see the helicopter's like raises up a little bit when he gets off because he's so fat. He's great in the movie, though. I gotta say, he pulls it off. Great flick. Silent Night. This was a disappointment. I thought this movie would do better. I still want to see it. I'm gonna watch it on streaming now. It just, I don't know. Maybe it's just the wrong time. 9.7 million. No budget listed, but this had to have a decent budget. I mean, it has a lot of stunts in it. So, I mean, it's probably not 100 million, but probably something like 20-ish, maybe 30. It looks great. I don't know. Could it be that bad? It has no dialogue or hardly any. Radical. I wish this movie would just disappear. I don't know why it keeps showing up. I feel like they're pushing it because of some sort of political thing, but I don't know that for sure. 20 million worldwide. And then Oppenheimer, you're not going to get this thing over $1 billion. You're just not. I mean, nice try, Universal, but you're at 955 million. Just take the W and be done. Just take the W and be done with it. This is another movie that's pretty long. I haven't seen yet, but I'll probably see it at some point. I do like Christopher Nolan, but I didn't want to go sit in the theaters. You know what? Here's a reason I do not want extra long movies in the movie theater. Because it's usually a half hour before the movie starts. Between previews and commercials and everything else, there's no point in showing up the movie on time. The movie ain't going to start for a half hour. So, it's ridiculous. You're sitting, and then the movie finally starts. Every time I go, I'm always like, oh, God, finally, the trailers are over. What did I come here to see again? I mean, it takes forever. Like, I don't mind a couple of trailers and maybe a commercial for the snacks. That's it. I would pay extra money if I could go to the movies and not see a commercial. Like, trailers, okay. I want to see coming attractions. But the commercials piss me off. At first, I tolerated them. Now, I just hate them. I'd rather stay home. I'd rather stream the damn thing. Terrible experience with the commercials. Holly, but now they have the comfy chairs in the movie theater. Yeah, but I got comfy chairs at home, and I got a fridge, and I got a bathroom, and I got a pause button. So they're competing on the wrong level with that. What I want in a movie is I want something in the theater that I can't get at home. So what I can't get at home is have someone make me good snacks. So if you made really good snacks, I wouldn't care that I was paying through the nose to get them. Like, you can't just make crappy popcorn and sell me overpriced candy and soda. Like, the art house movie theaters, I think, have the right idea. They have high-end snacks. They're still expensive, but you're getting a Toblerone and, like, a soda. Holly, I like the drive-in. Yeah, the drive-in's great. You can get a hamburger. You can get actual food. My old drive-in was great. I miss it. Oh, you could get a hamburger and fries and anything you wanted. You could get like a whole meal. And there was plenty of time. That was an experience, the drive-thru. I pity anybody who's never gotten the experience for themselves. There was plenty of intermissions. You can go to the bathroom. You can still see the movie as you're walking to the bathroom. The drive-in is I miss the drive-in. We still have one in the area down south. There's one left. Yeah, it's an era, bygone era. But I think they should bring the drive-in theater back. Holly, Delsey Drive-In movie theater does that. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one that's left. I think there's one in Pennsylvania too, or there was. I remember driving past. I wasn't driving. I was too young, but in the 70s, we drove past the Pennsylvania Drive-In Theater that was showing, I want to say X-rated movie, but it was at least R-rated because when we drove by, there were naked people on the screen, and we could see it from the road. And New York, says Holly. Yeah, they should bring them back because it was an experience. It wasn't just about the movie. It's about the experience of going somewhere. And that's what they need in theaters again. So whether you do a brew and view kind of thing where it's a restaurant and you see a movie, or you just, I don't even think they have to do that. My theater, when it first opened, and I moved here just to be near that theater because it was high end, and the idea was they were going to show art house movies and first run movies all in one theater. And I thought, great, that's a good idea. It didn't work, but they ended up just going right back to all mainstream movies. But one of the things they did was they had a coffee bar, and you could get lattes, you could get high-end, you can get cake, you could get a whole bunch of extra things. Now, you could get food, but you could get desserts. And it was nice. It was nice to get a latte, like a chai. I would get chai latte, something super sweet. Just high-end snacks if you wanted it. Now, of course, everything's so expensive anyway. I don't know how these theaters are making money. I don't know what they're charging now. I don't even think about buying snacks in the movie theater anymore. If I go to the movies, it's like, you want snacks? We'll stop at CVS on the way and get snacks and smuggle them in a jacket or something. The best thing I ever smuggled in, though, was dumplings from the Chinese food place. That was a good time. But I've smuggled in an entire pizza into the movie theater. I don't give an F. I'm not paying for the movie theater food. It's terrible, number one. And it's overpriced, number two. So I'll take my chances smuggling it in. If I get caught, I'll just eat it. Eat it right in front of the usher. He don't care. He's not being paid enough to care. I can smuggle in just about any food. Especially in the winter when I got a jacket on. I'll smuggle in an entire pizza. And that's fun food. Fun food to eat. So they need to redesign the movie experience. It's got to be more fun. I don't know, contest. You can maybe have a contest. Give away prizes. Some sort of activity before the movie starts. Anything. Something fun to make it an experience. But going to the movie theaters is just hell on earth now. And on that happy note, let's talk more about movies. So let me see. So this was one headline I just wanted to point out before we get into the list. Netflix dominated ultra woke Disney for 2023. I don't know so much post millennial if that's true. I don't know if they dominated because they were at least partially woke as Disney was, but they did have a lot of non-woke stuff, but most of their non-woke stuff was foreign films. But I will say their foreign film picks, they're awesome. They pick some of the best foreign films ever. They must just skim the cream of the crop and leave the crumbs for everybody else because they pick some good stuff. All right, so here's a list from the New York Post. These 5 terrible movies tortured viewers in 2023. So place your bets. Here we go. The Exorcist, Believer. Yeah, this was considered woke horror. Unbelievably. Somebody thought that would be good. And The Exorcist is so good, and they've never lived up to it. They've made sequel after sequel, and I had hopes for this one because Ellen Burstyn was in it, and she was in the original one. I thought, oh, wow, that's a callback. Instead, they give her a wokest effing line in the movie. Terrible. I totally agree. The Marvels, of course. No one liked this movie. Who was this movie for? Did anyone like The Marvels? You don't have to admit it here if you did. My God. Who sat around the conference rooms table saying, you know what would be great in a movie? Nothing but women and a planet full of singing aliens. Oh, that sounds awesome. Yeah, especially for a mostly male audience. And the sad thing is, mostly males saw this damn movie. Because again, comic book fans are mostly male. They just don't get it. Even at its lowest point, the MCU was supported by men. And they just can't figure it out. This is not what men want in a movie. It's not what women want in a movie. I think women would rather see men doing manly things. Maybe a little beefcake. It's very possible in an MCU movie. Holly, they need to add more diversity. Yeah, I knew you were just kidding on that one. Could they possibly add more diversity in this movie? I don't know. I guess they could have made one of the characters wheelchair bound, and they're just out of their minds. What happens later? Yeah, this was a bad idea. I mean, Meg Ryan directed this thing, so kudos for her, but it really felt like a play. And I feel like it probably should have been a play first, or totally. Just because it was all stuck. It was about 2 people stuck in an airport, and they had a relationship and never got together, and it was about what might have been. And I mean, it wasn't exactly the worst premise ever, but you know, Meg Ryan apparently not the best director, I guess. Murder Mystery 2, I mean, I feel like this shouldn't be on the list because this kind of movie was made for couples. That's all it is. Adam Sandler, you know, older Adam Sandler fans, they're married, they don't want to watch something goofy, so they watch Murder Mystery 2. It's a sequel to Murder Mystery 1. It's probably the stupidest movie ever, but it was good enough to get a sequel. I think they're just picking on that movie. Shazam! Fury of the Gods, yeah, I hear it's just god-awful. I had hopes for it. I wanted to see it, but the buzz about it chased me off, and I still haven't seen it on Max, and I could watch it any time. It's a shame. Helen Mirren was the villain, so I don't know, man. I don't know what happened. So that was 5 movies the New York Post thought were torturous. Mostly agree. Then we go to Rotten Tomatoes. All right, this is the big list. This is the big list. So strap in. We're going to start at the bottom and work our way to the top. You will not believe number 2. You will absolutely not believe number two. I couldn't believe it. I didn't mean to look at it. I wanted to be surprised, but I glanced down because when I loaded the page, it started at number one. And I'm like, who wants to do the list like that? But anyhow, strap in. At 170, again, this is Rotten Tomatoes. Their lists are weird. We've been through a few of their lists. Their lists are damn weird. Medusa Deluxe. I don't know what the hell this is. I haven't heard of it. Elemental came in at 169. What? Elemental may not satisfy as fully as the greatest Pixar pictures, but it remains a solid story told with dazzling visual flair. Looks stupid. 168. The Inventor. No idea. 167. The Offering. A spin on demonic possession and horror tropes. Haven't heard any of these movies. You'd think with all the thousands of movies that were produced, if you picked 170, you would have heard of them all. Moving on. Oh, I vaguely remember this. This was Lily Tomlin and Jane Fonda. Jane Fonda got a lot of movies this year, didn't she? She was in a lot of stuff. Somebody decided, hey, let's bring back Fonda and put her in a bunch of stuff. Maybe she'll say something stupid and political. And she did. Strange Way of Life. Oh, wait. I think I know this movie. This was Ethan Hawke, Pedro Pascal. Yeah, it's some weird... it's like a Western. It's not a full-length movie, I don't think. But I think they're gay cowboys, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, it didn't look great. Leave the World Behind. Apocalyptic thriller. Yeah, I don't know. Julia Roberts was in it. Leave the World Behind. Charlie, Ethan Hawke. Oh, wait a minute. This was that movie produced by the Obamas. Oh, yeah, now I remember it. Yeah, a lot of people talked about this movie saying it was some sort of message from Obama of what happens in 2024. I certainly hope not. But I don't think the Obamas would be living at sea level in Martha's Vineyard if that was true. Asteroid City. I had high hopes for this movie. This was Wes Anderson. It just seemed to crash and burn. Didn't really make any money. I'll see it on streaming at some point. It looked amazing. The look of it looked amazing. Nice bright colors. So that was 163. 162. Sitting in Bars with Cake. Oh God, this looked awful. You telling me you ranked this higher than Asteroid City? You ranked Sitting in Bars with Cake higher than a Wes Anderson film. You're sick of me, Rotten Tomatoes. You sick of me. The Lesson. I don't remember this movie. No. Vaguely remember the title. Red, White, and Royal Blue. Ugh. This movie. Some of my commenters I looked at a trailer for Mary and George, and one of the actors from this was in that, talking about what a phenomenon he is. Which one of them? I forget. And this is like a gay rom-com that, man, Variety pushed this hard. Really hard. I don't get it. Again, I think there's an audience for it, but it's small. Typically, rom-coms are aimed at women. I don't think a gay romance is going to be particularly stellar for most women. Like, a few of them might be into it, but most of them will want a classic man and woman situation. They probably spent too much money, but man, they pushed this movie hard. A Haunting in Venice. This is directed by Kenneth Branagh. I wanted this movie to be successful. I wanted all the Kenneth Branagh movies to be successful. I haven't seen it, but he knows how to direct a movie. So, one of these days. But, like, unfortunately, it's like the kind of thing you can wait to see. I mean, it's an old story. It's Agatha Christie. So, I don't know. Putting Tina Fey in it, I don't know what. You know, The Death on the Nile had Gal Gadot. I mean, he's had so many celebrities in the movie. I don't know. Just doesn't seem to work out for him for some reason. Scream 6, bleh. You put this above that. It's just sickening. This is a sickening list. 158. God, it's infuriating to see this even on the list. This should not be on any list of good movies. Scream sucks, in my view. It's always sucked. Even the first movie, which was mildly interesting, is it's meta slasher movie. It's insane. The Lost King, no idea. The movie's curiously bland compared to the remarkable real-life story it dramatizes. Then why'd you put it on the list? Chevalier? I can never say this. Now, this was a movie that should have gotten a push by Hollywood because it's about a real guy. And he was actually black. And he's from history. He not only is he black, he's a black communist, essentially. And he was a genius. He was a composer. He was a fencer. He did all these incredible things. He was a brilliant guy. He was a commie. And he was black. How did Hollywood sleep on this? And how did they not push the F out of this movie? It looks fine. $156. It doesn't look bad. I still might see it. Plane. This didn't look all that great. I mean, if there's a subgenre for Gerard Butler, it's this. You know, Gerard Butler's in a movie, and you know exactly how it's going to go. He's going to shoot a bunch of dudes. Because Hollywood is fake, and they really don't care. Yeah, probably didn't have their money in this. Somebody picked up the rights before then, I guess. I don't know. But Plane, I don't know. It looked fine. Looked watchable. Shouldn't be on a list. Blue Beetle at 154. Another thing, it shouldn't be on the list. You're telling me a Wes Anderson movie is lower than this? You're telling me I'll like this better than a Wes Anderson movie? You're out of your mind. Go to hell. Rotten Tomatoes. Come on. Blue Beetle. Scarlet. I don't know that one. Between Two Worlds. Patronizing look at human face of economic equality. Sounds boring and preachy. Origin. Oh, I remember this one. Should not be up here. This is another very preachy movie. Anna DuVernay. Someone who, I don't know how she keeps getting projects. But this is Hollywood. This is the new trend. This looks boring. Boring and stupid. Should be an art house movie. Shouldn't be on this list, I think. Ennie's Men? No idea. It's a horror thing? Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget. Well, I mean, he does good work. You know, the guy who makes the Wallace and Gromit cartoons, clay things, whatever you call them. They're fine. I'm sure it's good. Extraction 2. Finally a movie I saw. This is good. 148? I think it could be a little higher than that on the movies of 2023. This was a pretty good actioner. The Russo brothers know what they're doing. My favorite scene is on this movie poster where he's fighting guys in a Russian prison and he's on fire at the same time. Awesome. Awesome stuff. Chris Hemsworth. Quiz Lady. This movie just came out. I don't think it did anything. But Aquafina was in it, everybody. I'm sure that wasn't completely annoying. I will say that Aquafina and Sandra Oh seem to be cast right. They seem to be roles that fit them, as opposed to Aquafina being cast in every other role seems to be wrong. I wish she'd change her name to back to whatever the hell it was, because it just annoys me every time I say Aquafina. Jason Schwartzman's in it, so there's something, I guess. Biosphere. This was Mark Duplass movie. I like Mark Duplass. I don't know. It was this weird. I mean, it even says here, Biosphere's rambling, unfinished field doesn't always serve its thoughtful themes. I mean, why is it on the list this high at 146? If that, I mean, you're telling me there were only 170 movies produced this year? There were like thousands. Saw 10. It was probably the best Saw movie. I'll give it that. So maybe it should be on the list at like 170 or maybe 270. But, I mean, it had a better premise than I think all the others, but that's about it. That's a low bar. Perpetrator. It's a thriller. No idea. Leo. This looked okay. I mean, there's Adam Sandler doing a old Jewish guy's voice for Leo. They look kind of fun. I don't know if it belongs on the list. Maestro. I don't know. Are they buying Bradley Cooper an Oscar at this point? For some reason, this is controversial, but I just think it's probably a standard biopic. I was talking about this movie about. I was talking about this movie with one of my film buddies, and he was saying how he read an interview with Bradley Cooper, and he talked about scenes that he shot in the movie, because he directed it too, as if he was discovering film. Like, as if he discovered all these interesting things that you could shoot in a film. And it's real basic stuff. And so, part of the thing we discussed was how, like, celebrities as big as Bradley Cooper, no one says no to them in Hollywood. Still. They can't. So one of the classic examples was Jack Nicholson directing The Two Jakes. And so he's directing, and no one will say no to him. So he's doing this scene, and Holly, they said it was controversial because of the nose prosthetic. Yeah, that was a big issue for a few days. But anyhow, so Jack Nicholson's directing The Two Jakes, and it takes place in the 50s, I think, definitely in the past. And they're lining up the shot, and he looks, and he sees that there are modern cars in the shot. And he says, hey, there's some modern, well, you're a genius, move them. They're like, no, Jack, it's great, it's awesome, it's fine, nobody will notice. And then he, like, loses his S, and he starts screaming that if they don't move the cars, he's going to lose his mind, and he's going to walk off the set. And they eventually did, and shot the rest of the movie, but and this is before green screens when he did this. I think it was in the 90s. So they yes these guys so much that they can't gauge anything anymore, I think. So when he's like talking about discovering, hey, I discovered that if you cut away to a person, it's like you're moving the picture through time. All this basic stuff, and everybody around him is probably saying, oh yeah, that's a great observation, Bradley. Wow, never thought of that. Instead of saying, well, people have been doing that since the beginning of movies, Bradley. What are you saying? Like, no one's going to confront him on anything. Everything he does is going to be said, oh no, it's genius. It's genius, Bradley. And that's a real problem. It's a real problem in Hollywood. It's probably a problem for Bradley Cooper specifically. And they will go to great lengths to isolate him and isolate the talent. And that's why I think a lot of talent, at least at his level, it's really hard for them to make the transition to director. Because Even though everybody in Hollywood loves him now, if he wastes enough money, they won't love him anymore. Monica? Don't know that one. Rotting in the Sun. I don't know. I don't know what this is. It says dark and funny and refreshingly audacious meta comedy. Maybe? The Persian Version. No idea. It's about an Iranian American woman who strives to find a balance and embrace her opposing cultures. Sounds fine. I don't know if it should be on this list at 139. Linoleum. Oh, wait, it's Jim Gaffigan's movie. I vaguely remember this. It's a weird kind of... I think it's kind of a time travel movie. They bill it as a dramedy. I don't know. Again, comedy, dramedies, they're not... The comedy undermines the drama undermines the comedy. Pick one. Pick a lane. Make it funny. He has no excuse. He's a friggin' comedian. He should have made this the funniest damn movie ever. And then everybody would have seen it. I mean, it's just a friggin' art house movie. It probably shouldn't be on this list. Or it should be further down. No One Will Save You. This looked amazing, by the way. It was a home invasion thriller with an extraterrestrial twist. The scene they show in the trailer looks friggin' awesome. So, this should probably be on the list. It's only on Hulu, though, I think. I love the name, too. El Conde. I saw this. It's not bad. The premise is, what's the name? The famous dictator. Can't think of his name now. Oh, God, Franco. The guy, what did he run? I want to say Argentina? No, he ran Spain. Is it Francisco Franco or is the other guy? I forget. But the premise is he was actually, the reason he was able to become a dictator was he was actually a vampire the whole time. And so it's a weird vampire movie. But he's also able to have kids. So they know he's a vampire too. And it's kind of an interesting movie. I don't know if I'd say the best of the year, but at 136, that sounds about right. Tetris. This is the movie about the origin of Tetris. It looked fine. Looked okay. Taron Egerton is in it. It's the guy who brought it to America. Priscilla. You're telling me a Sofia Coppola movie belongs on any list? Come on. Come on. No. No, I don't believe that. Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I've heard good things. 133. So maybe. Jules. I mean, it looked pretty good. It's a light comedy with like Jane Curtin and Ben Kingsley. Looked fine. Art house movie. They should probably have separate lists, but I could see this being low on the list. Shortcomings. I don't know. I think I saw the trailer for this. Thanksgiving. A horror movie that was based on a trailer that was supposed to be a joke, but then they turned it into a movie. I wouldn't have greenlit the damn thing, but I don't think it belongs on a list of best movies of the year. Rustin? Okay, this was another movie about the era of MLK, about the architect of the movement and the March on Washington. And he was black and he was gay, so they decide to focus the whole movie on him. I'm sure it's fine for like an A&E type movie, a movie you'd see on A&E, like, oh, we're going to watch the biopic of Rustin, and this would be something they'd show in high school or whatever. Sure, it'd be okay. Again, I don't know if it should be on a list. Dumb Money. This movie didn't do anything at all, really. I mean, how is it rated this high? 128. It's all about that GameStop thing, the GameStop hijinks. I tried to get in on that. I think I bought a share and then sold it in time. Evil Dead Rise. I was kind of against this. I don't like these retcons where they take a franchise and just remake it. I mean, just make a different movie. Just call it something different. You know, 127. Wonka at 126, huh? I don't know. It's kind of weird to put it on the list. Seems to be doing well. I would guess this should be a little higher on the list. I would guess this should be at least in the top 100, right? I mean, people seem to like it, and I don't. I'm not particularly a fan because it's a prequel. Cairo Conspiracy? No idea. Angry Black Girl and Her Monster. You tell me you put this on the list above Wonka, above Wes Anderson. You're nuts. This, I mean, it's not the worst premise because it's another version of Frankenstein, but I don't know, man. It didn't look great. Suitable Flesh. I mean, that's a good name for a horror movie. I don't know if it belongs on 120 on a list like this at 123, but great horror name. Great horror movie name though. Naiad. This is Annette Bening and Jodie Foster. Hollywood also makes movies with old ladies, and I guess they need to work. I don't know. It's based on a true story of two lesbians, one swimmer, and the other's their coach. So, Eileen, this looked okay. Anne Hathaway and kind of a tour de force. It didn't really get any traction. It kind of came and went. I don't even remember seeing it on the box office list, quite frankly. It looked okay. It looked okay. Like, Anne Hathaway is a psychiatrist at a prison. This is in the 50s. And she is, like, manipulative. And then Eileen is one of the secretaries, and she ends up manipulating her. They kind of end up in a relationship, but it's all so she can, I don't know, get something out of her, I think. I didn't see it, so I can't say, but Fair Play. It's another thriller. Didn't see it. The Killer. I still kind of want to see this. I mean, it looks fine. It's David Fincher. So, but it's another Hitman movie, and I think we're really oversaturated with those at 119. The Wrath of Becky, 118. This was a sequel to a movie that they already did called, I forget, something with Becky, where Becky has to avenge her family. And then some other guys are attack her. So, standard revenge stuff. I don't know if it belongs on the list. The Five Devils, 117. No idea. Of an Age. All the freaking trailers I see, and how can I not recognize all the movies? You only have 170 on the list. I do two trailers a day. It's like 600 movies. Easy 600. More, probably closer to 700. How do I not know the names of these movies? How did you not pick movies like that I know? It's just unbelievable. Theater Camp, I do know. It was, I mean, it should have been funny. It didn't look funny. But it's like a disaster at a theater camp kind of thing. Like a disaster play. And it's supposed to be a comedy and a send-up of theater, but it's kind of already been done. But I don't know, man. Brother, I vaguely remember this film, but not sure what it's about. Sick. A slasher. Again, 113. How do these movies get this? How do you rate these things, Rotten Tomatoes, that it ends this way? Pacification. The political thriller. No idea. Totally Killer. Okay, this one I did see the trailer for. This is a weird time travel movie where a girl goes back to the 80s and has to stop a killer that killed her mother's friends. And then she has to interact with her mom back in the 80s, and that's why it's called Totally Killer. I mean, if you're going to do a slasher, this one appears to at least have some amount of fun with it. But here's The Color Purple at 110. Really? I'm not surprised. The Blackening. Holly M. Totally Killer was okay. It looked fine. I mean, it looked watchable. But this movie, The Blackening, I don't know how this gets greenlit. So here's the premise of The Blackening. A group of characters, I believe everyone in the cast is black. They're all friends. They go on a vacation. And they're reuniting for it says here, Juneteenth weekend getaway. Right? And at some point I think they go into the basement and find this game called The Blackening. And it's a racist game. And then they're trapped playing the game as one by one they're killed or have to kill each other or something like that. But it's kind of, you watch it and you kind of go, oh, this is a joke, right? This is going to be a send-up of these kinds of movies. No, it's not a joke, but it kind of almost is at points. Like, there's a few times they make jokes, but I don't know. We all can't die first. Like, it should be funny. It should be funny. Critics' consensus, why it could stand to be a little funnier. A little funnier? How about a little funny? And quite a bit scarier. The Blackening is a thoughtful satire. Okay. I'm out, critics. The Infinity Pool, or Infinity Pool. No idea. Alexander Skarsgård, Mia Goth, Cleopatra. Oh, wait. Oh, this is Brandon Cronenberg's movie. Yeah, I criticized this and got kind of blasted for it in the comments. Yeah, it didn't look great. It just looked weird to be weird. Yeah. El Bucco. No idea. Sick of Myself. A vicious satire of vanity in the time of social media, delivering a dark one-upping saga of egos gone awry. That doesn't sound bad. If it's actually funny and actually satirical. Tori and Lokita. Where do you find these things? Where do you find these movies? Rotten Tomatoes, you're supposed to cover all the movies. Emily, this is all about Emily Bronte, biopic. Biopics should probably not be on the list. I mean, they're all kind of the same. The Royal Hotel. Oh, I remember this movie. So this movie is about two women. I believe they're both American, and they're working in Australia. And in order to keep their visas, they have to, and there's a weird rule, I guess, in Australia, but you can work in the outback, I guess, for the government, but they end up working at a bar, right? So in order to keep their visas, they agree to go all the way out into the outback to work at a bar for however many months, and then they get to keep their visas, right? Because I guess it's so hard to get people to move to the outback to work. So they go there, and the way the trailer's set up, you know, it's a bunch of rowdy Aussies who are getting drunk in their bar. But there are other girls who work there too, and they're getting drunk, and they're having a good time. And the girls are, you know, they took the job, and then I guess something happens, but they don't really make it clear that what happens. Like, maybe one of them gets, you know, something untoward happens, something really untoward. But the way the trailer cuts, it just is like the blonde girl goes, "Oh, these people are so rude. I am not doing this anymore." But like she already made a promise, and like, I don't know, the bus won't come for weeks or something, and she's trapped there until she can leave, and I guess she's being deported. But the other girl's like, F it, I'm having a good time. They're flirting with guys or whatever. I don't know. Whoever made that movie, you really got screwed by the trailer, I think. That trailer makes it look like the blonde girl, is just the biggest complainer ever, instead of maybe something happened to her. Like, if something really happens to her in the movie, that should be clear in the trailer. It should be like dark music, like a scene where some guy is like pushing her around or whatever. Whatever happened, you should get a taste of it in the trailers so you can gauge, like, okay, that's what it's about. She goes into the outback and then gets attacked, and then she can't leave, and it's about how they deal with that, and then it escalates or something, which I think it kind of does. But again, good luck figuring it out from the trailer. Or the opposite, in that she's just pissing and moaning because she doesn't like those people, but she's trapped there until the bus comes for some reason, because I guess it's the outback and it takes forever for the bus to come, and they just keep messing with her. I don't know. It just seemed like a confusing, stupid movie. But it showed up at the list at 103. Missing. This is supposed to be like a thriller about somebody trying to find their mother who disappeared, but using their phone to do it mostly. So, I mean, I think they're at least trying something in this movie, and I got to give that some level of respect, but I don't know. It doesn't sound like they pulled it off, but it got 88%. So how did it get rated so highly if it didn't even pull it off? At 102? Again, 700 movies this year, at least. Showing Up. Okay, I remember this trailer. It's about the artist's life or whatever. It looked all right. Iron Claw at 100. This looked pretty good. I mean, it's a biopic, but the subject matter is pretty rough. Creed 3. This looked good too. I mean, I was surprised. I mean, Jonathan Majors looked the part in this. This is the role. Yeah, I mean, he looks like a beast. He looks like a boxer. For Kang, he just seemed wrong. Barbie is at 98, huh? Really? 98 for Barbie. This movie made $1 billion. You only put it at 98? I don't know. I'd have put it higher on the list, and there ain't no way I'm seeing this stupid movie. Mutt. No idea. I think it's about dogs? Aristotle and Dante discover the secrets of the universe? What kind of list is this? Holly M. Jonathan Majors is in a whole lot of trouble. Yeah. I don't know. I saw that video of him being chased by his girlfriend after his argument in the car. I don't know. Puts a different perspective on it because he's trying to get away from her. But I don't know. And that's a tough one to call. This one, I don't know why this is there. So weird. Stupid rating system. A Piora. A high concept sci-fi that never loses touch with the human experience. I don't know. A Million Miles Away. This is sort of a woke version of Apollo. It's a biopic about a Latino guy who gets to be an astronaut, and he always wanted to be. Sanctuary. No idea. 92. You Can Live Forever. No idea. 91. The Cow Who Sang a Song into the Future. What the hell are you putting on this list, Rotten Tomatoes? I never would have forgotten a title like this. Yeah, with a hopeful tune, the cow who sang a song into the future bask in a magical realism to deliver a compelling family drama swathed in a powerful environmental fable. What are you, out of your mind? This shouldn't even be on the list. This shouldn't even be on a list of movies. Is this even a movie? This list is making me angry. I don't know if I'm going to make it to the end. I may punch my computer. All Dirt Roads Taste of Salt. Yeah, this looked like your standard drama. Dreamin' Wild. Don't think I knew. I don't think I saw the trailer for this. Brooklyn 45. I did see the trailer for this. I don't think I did a thing on it for some reason. It was weird. It was like a ghost story, but it takes place in the past. I don't know. It was odd. Polite Society? No idea. Bottoms. Okay, this one I remember. So this is an attempt to make a wacky, crazy high school movie like we used to watch back in the day when they were comedies and they were funny, except the protagonists in this movie are both two lesbians, but they act like men. And the idea is they're chasing girls like guys do. And it completely doesn't work for me because I just don't see it working. I don't see women, even gay women, chasing women like men do, even in high school. It's just not, I think, the way women are wired. So it comes off as completely, it just feels like a movie you just took the guy characters and substituted women and made them lesbians. Critics' consensus: propulsive and over the top, Bottoms is an instant high school comedy classic. No, it's not. That feels both current and nostalgic. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't feel like the trailer was funny enough to warrant a watch. Yeah, I mean, basically the girls create it's a weird story. So they create a fight club for girls where they really wail on each other, and then they get better at fighting, and then I don't know, they kind of take over the school from the jocks. But like, it doesn't feel real because what jock in this day and age is going to go up against lesbians in their high school? Like that, it's a movie that just doesn't live in reality is the problem. And comedy only works when it's close to reality. If you had made this a send-up of the woke idiots who run things, it could have worked, right? Like, you could have had two characters who were lesbians, and they're trying to win the girls of their dreams or whatever. And there are so many woke people trying to speak for them and do things for them, they're driving them all crazy. And because they eventually spurn them because they can't stand them anymore, like, they turn against them, and then they have a real sort of, rivalry. As opposed to this movie, which just plays upon tropes like, the football quarterback, because he's white and he's male and he's a quarterback, and all the football guys, they're a bunch of jerks. They hate lesbians. It just doesn't make any sense in this day and age. And that's why, to me, it doesn't work. But these guys are calling it a classic. It doesn't even belong on the list, in my view. The Origin of Evil, slow-burning thriller. Yeah, I don't remember that one either. Leonore Will Never Die. I like that title. It's a unique tribute to the transporting power of cinema. Leonore Will Never Die marks the director, co-writer Marquita Ramirez Escobar as a talent to watch. It's a foreign movie, so I'm not quite sure. Leonor Reyes was once a major player in the Filipino film industry, creating a string of successful action films. Interesting. I mean, I'm not sure why it's so high on this list. Right? Like a Filipino movie? Like, again, I don't know. Did anybody see this in America? The Unknown Country. Yeah, I don't remember this one either. The Artifice Girl. No idea. Chile 76. That's not a chilly temperature. That's kind of temperate. A historical noir. Pinochet. That's the guy in Chile for El Conte. It's Pinochet who's the vampire. I couldn't think of his name. But there's another movie about Pinochet. Society of the Snow, another movie about the plane crash where everybody ate the other passengers who died. I get it. They had to do that, but how many movies is this? And we're only at 80. Jesus. Other People's Children. Okay. Other People's Children perceptively explores motherhood outside traditional biological confines and delivers sobering. God, I can't even get through the synopsis. Holly, I assume going back to the cannibals, you're making a joke. Yum. um, God, Other People's Children is just so boring. It sounds so boring. Godland, no idea. It takes place in the late 19th century. Oh, this one looked cool. This is Adam Sandler's daughter in a movie, and he's in it too. You are so not invited to my bat mitzvah. That sounded fun. Again, I don't know why it's on a list like this, because it's at 77. Out of all the movies in 2023, you put this at 77? I mean, it probably should be on the list, but 77? Really? A Fire. No idea. Dream Scenario. Okay, this was Nicolas Cage as a guy who keeps showing up in people's dreams, and he becomes famous, and it kind of ruins his family. I'm surprised this movie didn't do well, but the critics didn't seem to like it. So here, these critics kind of liked it. Joyride. Oh, this movie looked god awful. You rated this above a Nicolas Cage movie, you monsters? This looked awful. This was like a road trip movie with a group of Chinese women who go to China. It felt like they were trying to make China fun. Communist China fun, if you can imagine. May, December, Natalie Portman and Julianne Moore. So, I'm out. 72, Dungeons and Dragons Honor Amongst Thieves. I mean, I heard some people say it was okay. Watchable. They're even talking about a sequel. I don't think it made any money. Jethica. 71. Supernatural thrills and a serious story of truly terrifying stalker. War Pony. I think I saw this trailer. 2 indigenous young men cements 2 women. I'm not sure. It was a art house movie at number 70. Influencer, number 69. It's kind of like a horror movie with an influencer. Juniper. Yeah, okay. I think I remember this. This is it's one of these stories where there's an old person and they're dying, and then their young relative has to take care of them for a reason. They both learn a lesson. 68. 67, Perfect Days. Meh, don't know that one. The Starling Girl. I heard of this one. 17-year-old Jem Starling struggles to define her place within her fundamental Christian community in rural Kentucky. Isn't it weird, like Hollywood, they kind of hate religious people, but they're fascinated with doing movies about them. So they can kind of prove the point that they're stupid and dumb, it seems to me. Like, they're fascinated with them, yet they kind of hate them, right? So they're always taking these beautiful people and dressing them down and putting them in these situations, like, so they could say, see how awful it is to be in a Christian community? Oh boy, I'm sure glad I'm in Hollywood where everybody lives their life right. That's what it feels like to me. So they're constantly looking for, like, Kristen Stewart's in this movie, and I bet it's on this list, where she plays like some white trash gangster who works for her dad, and she's in a lesbian relationship with this girl, and they dress her, and like Kristen Stewart's okay looking, pretty good looking in terms of Hollywood, and they like give her a mullet and make her look like crap to be in the movie. It's just like, why did you hire this beautiful woman and then you dress her? Why not hire someone who already looks like crap? Give her a break. I bet she can act better than Kristen Stewart. At 65, it's The Zone of Interest. Now, this is a movie about the bad guys from Germany and their, like, home life. I mean, they're really, you know, they've made a lot of movies about the bad guys from Germany, right? So they always got to come up with a new. I mean, it's a new twist, a new angle, I guess, but really running out of runway on that war. Maybe move on. American Symphony. Some documentary. Again, why is it on the list? Documentaries shouldn't be on the list. It should be narratives. Make a separate list for documentaries. They're kind of a different thing. Alcararas. Like, why are you going to put all the foreign movies on here too? They should be on a separate list. Rêve Paris. Explores trauma's aftermath with devastating tenderness. Sounds boring. Reality. Okay. Sydney Sweeney in another title role. She is smoking. So, I don't know. This is, it's Reality Winter. It's a movie about Reality Winter. She was the person, she tried to become a whistleblower, or she was portrayed as a whistleblower in like the NSA or something, but it didn't work out that way for her. Not like some of the other guys. All of Us Are Strangers. Okay, we saw this. This is still in theaters. It's a gay love story. And sure, it's fine. Limited appeal, I think. I think the lead is the guy who played Moriarty in the Sherlock Holmes thing. So he is a good actor. I mean, he was good in that. Flora and Son. Another music-fueled crowd pleaser from writer-director John Carney. So I guess it's a musical? American Fiction. I'm kind of looking forward to this. This looks good. Jeffrey Wright and American Fiction will forever be inextricable thanks to the actor's committed approach to the pointedly humorous, insightful material. So it's about a black academic, and he writes books, but he's very straightforward about it, and no one wants to read his books because his books are actually smart. But he goes to various book fests, as I do. Maybe I can relate to it because I'm a writer. And he notices that all the black authors who get attention they're always writing about like characters or real people, quote unquote, who are in the ghetto and doing stereotypical black things, I guess you could say. And so he writes a book as a joke, putting in every like black trope you can possibly think of, and puts himself off as like an ex-con who's uneducated, and of course everybody wants the book and he makes millions because, like, I guess he needs a hit, he's got to make money or whatever. So it's a satire about the book publishing industry, about how corrupt it is. I love it. Love the premise. Even if I don't like Jeffrey Wright's politics. And this should probably be in the top 20 from the looks of it. Then you got Poor Things. Should be way at the bottom. Way at the bottom. At 57, no. Feminist Frankenstein, no thank you. Megan. Now, this was a hot movie. This was a weird movie about a robot doll that an AI robot doll companion of a little girl that goes crazy and kills everybody. Air. Ever see a movie about a shoe? This is that movie. It's about the making of Air Jordan sneakers. I know you're saying, no, they didn't make a movie about a shoe. Oh, they made an expensive movie about a shoe. Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Chris Tucker, Viola Davis, Justin Bateman. They made a lot of people. The only person they didn't put in this movie was Michael Jordan. And I don't know why. I'm sure he's in clips at the end of this, but it's about the making of Air Jordan sneakers. It's nuts. I don't know who would see this. It's basically got to be a 2-hour commercial for Nike, right? It's crazy. But people did like it. So I would put it on the list. I just wouldn't put it at 55. 54, Oppenheimer? Oppenheimer's got to be in the top 20. Come on. This movie made almost $1 billion. You put it down here at 54? Rotten Tomatoes, you suck. After Love, I don't even know what this movie is. I never heard of this damn movie. No idea. But Oppenheimer, not as good. Stupid list. Falcon Lake, no idea. Better than Oppenheimer. Radical, again, this movie won't leave the theaters. What the hell is it about? Synopsis. In a Mexican border town plagued by neglect, corruption, and violence, a frustrated teacher tries a radical method to, I don't know, teach kids, I guess. Is it a true story? Offering few surprises but plenty of uplift, Radical tells a stirring fact-based story brought to life by some top-flight work from blah, blah, blah. I can't. Eugenio Derbez? I mean, you're telling me it's better than Oppenheimer? I bet it isn't. Number 50, Night of the 12th. We're in the top 50. Thank God. Thank God. What time is it? Oh, God, we're at 11. I got to keep track of the time on this one. It looks like a thriller. I have no idea. I can't believe I haven't seen these trailers. Smoking causes coughing. Oh, I think I did see this trailer. Okay, this is a weird comedy. It's kind of low budget. It's sort of like a parody of the Power Rangers. I'm surprised it's on this list. Now, I wouldn't put it up here, but maybe on the list. Scrapper. This looked kind of cool. So, it's a father-daughter comedy. There's a 12-year-old girl. I think her mother dies. And she is living on her own. Like, nobody knows. I guess the mother's dead, or she might be gone. I'm not sure. She may not have died. But eventually, her biological father finds her and then has to become her father. And so it looked very cute. That one I could see being on the list. Finally. St. Omer. It's about the immigrant experience. No idea. How to Blow Up a Pipeline. This was very controversial. There's no way this deserves to be way up here at 46. No way. It's literally a movie about terrorism. How to blow up. I mean, look at the title. What? Young environmental crew activists execute a daring mission to sabotage a oil pipeline. And they look just as incompetent as the real ones would. And I don't think it's very daring to promote this, but whatever. Passages. I haven't heard of that one. Sisu. Oh, this looked awesome. This looked full of awesome. This would be in my top 20. This is, and I still want to see it. During the last desperate days of World War II, a solitary prospector crosses paths with bad guys from Germany on a scorched earth retreat. And let me tell you something. He goes at them with his pickaxe and just murders them. It looks friggin' amazing. And I still haven't seen it. And I thank you for putting it on the list so I remember. You Hurt My Feelings. Oh, this is Julia Louis-Dreyfus trying to be Woody Allen. Doesn't quite work from what I hear, but I mean, you could probably put this on the list after 100, but I haven't heard good things. Talk to Me. Okay, this got a lot of good reviews. A lot of people like this, and they already got the sequel in the works. Speaking of sequels, John Wick Chapter 4. Please don't do a 5. You're going to do this until nobody can stand John Wick. And I'm already there. It's basically the same movie over and over. I get it. Do a new movie where Keanu Reeves kills everybody. Just a completely different thing. I love the first one. Why do you have to ruin it? Amanda. This is a coming-of-age story. I think I saw this one. Yeah. The trailer's a bit confusing. I think it's an Italian movie. But it looked okay. I don't know if it belongs at 40. Attachment. A possession thriller. Not sure. Haven't, again, can't believe it, but no trailer. How to Have Sex. What? Three British teenage girls go on a rites of passage holiday drinking, clubbing, and hooking up. Okay. I don't know why it should be this high on the list. 37, Nimona. That looks like anime. Not sure that should be on the list. Blue Jean. England, 1988. Margaret Thatcher's conservative government is about to pass a law stigmatizing gays and lesbians. Oh, you could pretty much write the rest on that one. 35, They Clone Tyrone. Oh, I love this movie. Finally, one I saw. This is fun. I would put this on the movie list. Absolutely. This is about where it belongs, 35. On my personal list, I'd probably put it in the top 30. A little higher. It's good. If you haven't seen They Clone Tyrone, totally worth watching. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I don't want to see this movie. I know. I hear it's okay, but yeah, I think they're diluting Spider-Man too much. But I can see why it would be on the list. Four Daughters. I think it's a documentary. I don't know. The Blue Kaftan. A love story. Again, I don't know. Earth Mama, 31. Moving look at single motherhood. Where do you even find these movies? Again, I saw 700 trailers this year. RMN. No idea. RMN's spare, elegant approach lends a deceptively cool surface to its caustic take on cultural divisions. Is this a movie or a lesson from a woke school? Like, what kind of synopsis is that? Oh, that's a critic consensus. But still. Ugh. Sounds awful. The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. Well, this wasn't a full-length movie, was it? It's Wes Anderson returns to Roald Dahl, proves his distinctive style was comfortable fit. I mean, this probably belongs on the list. I don't know if it belongs here, but Birth, Rebirth. Are you just putting stuff on the list because of how the ratings went on Rotten Tomatoes? And, like, is it because, like, I don't know, 4 people saw this movie and, like, 3 of them liked it and it just got higher than the other movies? Is that how you did this? Suzume, another anime, shows you, I guess they're just rating it from the online people. I mean, I don't have anything against anime per se, but like The Boy and the Heron, okay, that belongs here. I hear good things about this. This movie's gotten a lot of buzz. They got a lot of famous people to do the American voices, so I get it. I get that one. The other one, I don't know. Was that on the list? Anatomy of the Fall, 25. I've heard great things about this movie, so I hear it's decent. I forget what country this is from. I want to say Sweden or some country like that. It's from a Nordic country. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem? Come on. Come on. That doesn't belong on the list. No. No. The Holdovers, okay. That one looks good. I'm biased because I like the music. It's all like late 70s, early 80s. Number 23. Number 22, Past Lives. Did this movie do anything? I remember seeing this on the numbers list. I remember seeing the box office for this. It didn't do anything. Fremont, another movie that was on the list for weeks, did nothing. I think I remember seeing the trailer. Hiroshima, the Bone Woman at number 20. What the F is this? Bone-chilling body horror. I guess. I never heard of this movie either. Monster at 19. No idea. 1001. No idea. Return the Soul. No idea. Klondike. I don't know where they're finding these movies. Where are the rest of the movies that came out? Holly M, there are a lot of manipulated scores on Rotten Tomatoes. I'll say. The Three Musketeers Part 1. I've heard of this movie. It's at 15. I'm surprised it rates this high. I mean, it looked fine, but I don't know if it looked like 15.5. The Innocent. No idea. Aloners. No idea. The Teacher's Lounge. Again, no idea. Shada at number 11. Number 10. We're in the top 10, and I haven't heard of most of these movies. How's that even possible? The Taste of Things. This one I've heard of. It looked okay. It's a love story between two people who cook a lot. Full Time. No idea. The Beast. We're in the top 10. This is number 8. I haven't heard of Full Time or The Beast. Number 7, Joyland. I've heard of this. It kind of came and went. Number 6, Fallen Leaves. Number 5, Rye Lane. Are you going to put any movies that anyone's ever seen, Rotten Tomatoes? Oh, here we go. Godzilla -1. Finally. Yes, this probably deserves to be number 1 from what I hear. Blackberry. I heard good things about this movie, too. This was the movie about the invention of the BlackBerry and how it got marketed. Glenn Howerton's in it. I hear he does a really good performance, so okay. You're making me a little happy at number 3. But then number 2, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Are you effing kidding me? That movie, completely out of its time. If they had made this movie, now you have to understand, the subject matter is a book that was written in, it was about growing up in the early 70s, late 60s, I think late 70s, right? So it's a coming-of-age movie for a girl in that time period. They needed to make this movie in about, I'm going to say 1990 to the early 2000s. Because then the girls who would have read that book in the 80s, when it was around, would have been old enough to say, oh, I'm going to take my daughter to see Are You There, It's Me, Are You There, God, It's Me, Margaret. And it was a bit of a controversial book at that time. It's not controversial now. It's kind of like a young girl's guide to feminism in some respects, but, you know, it's a coming of age thing, like, but it's way past its prime. Like, I don't know how anybody who would take their daughter to see it, their daughter would be in their 40s at this stage, right? It's like too old, I think. And it didn't do well. And it's number 2. It's crazy. Crazy. And number 1, first slam dunk, this anime movie. It's crazy. This is the craziest list ever. Of course. From Rotten Tomatoes. Insane people. They're absolutely insane. Speaking of insane, I have to take a short break and run to the loo. I'm going to bring Doggy up so you have something to watch. Might go to the bathroom and get a refill. How far are we from midnight? All right, so we still got less than an hour. So hang tight while I refill and go to the bathroom. Empty and refill. One sec. One sec. There we go. Okay, we're back in action, Joan. Did you keep everybody entertained? Good doggy. Good doggy. This is our new bed she got for Christmas, by the way. Very exciting. Let me make sure you're on camera, Joan. I think you are. Yeah, you're good. So that was Rotten Tomatoes 170 movie list. What a complete waste of time. All right, let's move on to the 23 review. I saw this over at Zero Hedge, so I thought I'd just go over a little bit of the events that shaped the year before we get back into movies. So mix it up a little bit. On January 8th, China opens borders, ending zero COVID policy. January 23rd, Microsoft invests $10 billion into OpenAI, extending partnership and bringing about Skynet. February 4th, Chinese spy balloon drifts over the United States. And Biden basically lets it happen. Why? You think that balloon wouldn't have made 10 seconds over the United States if Trump was in office? It'd have blown it right out of the sky. The 21st, Russia suspends participation in nuclear arms reduction treaty. So way to go on that, Biden. In March 10th, the SVB collapse and banking turmoil. This was a bank out in California. A bunch of bigwigs had their money in, and it just caused chaos. Then on the 19th of March, UBS buys Credit Suisse for $3.2 billion, thereby combining even more banks together. Probably not good. In April the 4th, Finland named 31st NATO member, doubles NATO's Russian border. Again, the NATO alliance, not very good anymore because we shouldn't be at war with Russia. We should be making peace with Russia. It's not what it used to be. On the 15th of April, Germany closes nuclear plants and ends 50 years of nuclear power because they're woke-tarded. And now they've had to reopen coal plants in Germany, and actually they tore down wind turbines because some of them were too close to the coal plant. So imagine you announce in Germany, oh, we're going green, we're getting rid of our nuclear power plants, and then you reopen coal mines. Coal mines. Yeah. They're going backwards in Germany. They want to do the same thing here, by the way. Don't let it happen. In May, and I have to be very careful, I'm just reading this, YouTube. May 5th, WHO declares end of COVID-19 global emergency. And that's, if you want to hear my thoughts on that particular subject, tune in over at Bitchute, Odysee, and Rumble. May the 6th, coronation of King Charles III, and Lotus Eaters rejoiced. That was their one bright day, I think. they had a rough year. June 10th, or June 18th, Titan submarine goes missing while exploring Titanic site. Yeah, that didn't end well. That really didn't end well. I guess, the guy who invented it died in the sub, and so there's nobody to get mad about all the corners he apparently cut, but what are you going to do? June 23rd, the Wagner Group begins conflict with Russian military. Oh yeah, I remember that. That didn't end well for the leader. He mysteriously was shot down in a plane. In July 14th, SAG-AFTRA announced strike. The writer strike was in May, I think. July is the hottest recorded month for global average surface air temperature. Yeah, but don't take that with a grain of salt, because what they discovered, at least in some countries, what they would do to get their average or some of their temperatures is they would go to the hottest place they could possibly find. in order to make sure it was even hotter. So, for instance, in the UK, they went to a tarmac at the airport to record the temperature because it's always hotter on a tarmac because it's asphalt and it's black and it's absorbing all the heat and then the heat's rising off of it. So it's like it's hotter on a tarmac. So take it with a grain of salt. August 8th, Hawaii wildfires burned 17,000 acres, killing over 100. This was disgraceful. I hope there's an investigation. There'll probably be a documentary 20 years from now about how all the state people murdered everybody. They told them to stay in their homes, and the people who survived are the people who said, F this. So remember that, kids. Sometimes you say, F it. Oh, Kite's here. Well, I woke up, so here I am. Hi, Tony. Hi, chat. Merry New Year. Merry New Year to you, my friend. Can't believe you're here. I hope you get some sleep. I had a restless night last night. I told the story earlier. It was not good. I literally went to a signing with 1 hour of sleep. Thank God I didn't have to do my talk. That would have been a mess. August 24th, BRICS to add Argentina, Ethiopia, Egypt, Iran, UAE, and Saudi Arabia in 2024. That is basically an economic kind of partnership that the United States ain't in. They're trying to get around the dollar. I don't know if it'll work. It may work in the long run, but in the short term, it's probably not going to do much. September 1st, Novo Nordisk overtakes LVMH as Europe's largest company. Who knew? 15th September, United Auto Workers begin strike. Kite, I got some after I sent the message earlier about Godzilla pre-stream. Oh, okay. So you're not totally sleep deprived. October 7th, attacks on Israel, the start of Israel-Hamas war. Hopefully not the start of World War III. Rough. 13th, Microsoft closes acquisition of Activision Blizzard, which I personally banned because of their behavior regarding the Chinese. That was before this. November 15th to 17th, Xi Jinping meets Biden for the first U.S. visit since 2017. And they cleaned up San Francisco for him. They won't clean it up for the people who live there, but they'll clean it up for a communist dictator. Disgraceful. Sorry to get all. I'm almost done the list. We'll move on. 17th to the 21st, Sam Altman fired and reinstated as CEO of OpenAI. This is from Zero Hedge, so it's a little more company oriented. December, COP28 agrees on transitioning away from fossil fuels to kill us all. Yes, we cannot transition away from fossil fuels. The technology isn't there. It would kill us. People would starve, literally. Now, in the United States, we might go back to, I don't know, everybody farming for themselves and living a subsistence, like hoeing the earth. Are you looking forward to that? But I think it'll stop before we get that far. These great reset morons are doomed. They're just going to do a lot of damage before they're finally kicked to the curb. December 19th, shipping firms suspend Red Sea activity after Houthi militant attacks. Yeah, that just happened. All right, so there's that. So we get a little taste of what happened in 2023. It's all very depressing. Some good stuff happened too, though. Joan got a new bed. All right, getting back to movies. All right, now we're going to do the IMDb top movies, top 10 movies. Yes, and I already just gave away the store with number 10, but shockingly, the top 10 movies, number 10 is The Flash. You out of your mind, IMDb? I guess so. The Flash is the 10th best movie in 2023. Worldwide, even worldwide, I find that hard to believe. I find that very hard to believe. I got to keep track of the time. All right, we're good. Number 9, Killers of a Flower Moon. Also find that hard to believe, but I mean, that's possible. At number 9, that wasn't even on the list. I just read at Rotten Tomatoes. Number 8, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I mean, if you're talking about box office, I could see maybe. I mean, it did really well. People do like it. I guess. Number 7, Five Nights at Freddy's. That's another one that wasn't on that other list. This movie did really well. People really liked it, although the IMDb rating is only 5.5. I mean, there's Matthew Lillard. I think he directed it, right? Didn't he directed it? Or I guess he was in it too. Good for him. Yeah, they got a sequel in the pipeline for this already, so I mean, it belongs on a list. Super Mario Brothers movie. That wasn't on the list either. That wasn't on the big list from Rotten Tomatoes. I forgot about this movie. This movie did really well. Everybody liked it. Crazy. That was a crazy list. But still, The Flash doesn't belong on this one. Number 5, John Wick Chapter 4. I don't know if this belongs on the list. Come on. In the top 10, number 5 of the top 10 movies of 2023? I don't know, man. Little Mermaid? Absolutely not. Get wrecked, IMDb. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It did well. People liked it. Said it was a good send-off. I still haven't seen it. I don't know if I ever will, because I sure as heck won't go see it on Disney Plus, but although my friend has Disney Plus, maybe I'll watch it at his house one day. Barbie, number 2. I wouldn't put it at number 2, but maybe on the list. I mean, it did gross a lot of money, surprisingly. And finally, place your bets. What's the number 1 movie the IMDb picks? The number 1 of 2023. I don't remember what the number 1 was. I did see it. I'm going to guess Oppenheimer, but I don't think that was it. Oh, it was. There you go. Oppenheimer. That's a respectable choice. I mean, I don't know if I agree with it, but I mean, I picked it, but I don't know. For 2023, the number 1, I guess. Yeah. I mean, overall, good balance. Made a lot of money. Quality movie, I think. Got name recognition. I mean, sure, it's acceptable. It's an acceptable pick. The Flash is unacceptable, even at number 10. Should not be on the list. Not Wonka. Put Wonka at number 10. It's not quite done. Like, really, they should shift it a little. Like, movies that are done. You know? They're done. And like, Wonka kind of like stretches over into 2024. So, but there you go. All right. Next list is from Time. The 10 best movies of 2023. Kite. It wasn't great, but compared to everything else this year, till this month, it was the best. Says Kite. Okay. Yeah, it's an acceptable choice. Godzilla should have been on that list. Yeah, Godzilla should have been number 1. I'm guessing. All right, the 10 best movies of 2023 from Time Magazine. This is all going to be safe choices by the media, I think. Number 10, Passages. I don't even know what the hell that is. Again, it's on the list. I don't know. Dreamin' Wild, another movie. Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Yeah, I could see Time Magazine putting that on the list. It doesn't belong there, but sure. I could see Time Magazine picking it. It was like the 50-year-olds who wrote this list. Oh, what would you? I bet we should probably pick Are You There, God? God, It's Me, Margaret. My grandchildren should have read that book. I bought it for them. Killers of a Flower Moon. At 7, I can accept it. Maybe. I don't know. 3.5 hours, still too long. Past Lives. I don't know. River Paris. Priscilla, absolutely not. You're going to put a Sofia Coppola movie in the top 10? No. Zone of Interest, again, I understand the choice for this one. They feel like they need to pick this movie. And it is being pushed hard by Hollywood. There's number 2, Maestro. I'm surprised Maestro wasn't on some of the other lists. I'm surprised it wasn't on the IMDb list. And number 1, Fallen Leaves. Hey, out of your mind. A tentative romance between a woman who's making the best of a dreary workday life and a metal worker whose perpetual drunkenness keeps him underemployed, plus a dog who helps his human bridge. This sounds like the boringest thing ever. You're telling me this is the best movie of 2023? God. Who did... Honorable mention. Oppenheimer is an honorable mention. Master Gardener. That movie looked spectacular. That looked like a good movie. Poor Things. Nah. Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. I mean, it's Guy Ritchie. It can't be the worst movie ever made. Emily. One Fine Morning. Don't know that one. Origin. Absolutely not. Yeah. So there's Time Magazine. Over at Deadline. Deadline's best movies of 2023. All right. Now, these guys are at least kind of in the movie industry, so maybe this list will be a little bit more on point. Didn't really look at it. Number 1, Pete Hammond's best movies of 2023. American Fiction. Yes, I would put that in the mix. Barbie, okay. Blackberry, hear good things. The Burial, don't know that one. The Color Purple, come on. The Holdovers, sure. Killers of the Flower Moon, sure. Maestro, sure. May, December, Natalie Portman, no. Oppenheimer, yeah. Origin, no. Stop trying to prop up Ava DuVernay. Stop it. Stop it. There's another critic, Valerie Complexes. Is that your real name? 1001. This is it's about a single mom in New York. I saw the trailer for this. It could be Oscar bait. I could see a critic picking it, but The Blackening, you're out of your mind. That movie looks awful. Eileen, maybe. Origin, no. Stop propping up Ava DuVernay. Beyond the Aggressives 25 years later? What the hell is that? I have no idea. Past Lives, I don't know. Poor Things, absolutely not. Zone of Interest, maybe. Four Daughters, I don't know. Kokomo City, documentary. All right, let's just skip this critic and go to Damon Wise. May, December again. Anatomy of a Fall, heard good things. Zone of Interest, okay. Holdovers, acceptable. Past Lives, eh. American Fiction, yes. Dream Scenario. Kite says, no, her real name is Valerie. Her choices prove her complexes. Ha! Dream Scenario, I haven't heard. I heard it wasn't good, but maybe. Killers of a Flower Moon, I guess. Poor Things, no. Priscilla, stop. Stop. It's Sofia Coppola. Stephanie Bunbury's best movies. Anatomy of a Fall, I've heard good things. Zone Interest. Past Lives. Godzilla -1, finally. Finally. Fallen Leaves. All right, come on. St. Omer, Blackberry, okay. The Delinquents, not sure. Theater Camp, I thought your list was going to be acceptable, but maybe not. Killers of a Flower Moon, and that's it. So hers was the best list. Was it a her? Yeah, Stephanie. They're all her now. Every publication shows women, women, women. So that wasn't the worst list I've ever seen. Theater Camp, though. Come on. Have you never seen a comedy? All right. Now we get to the big list. And do we have time for this? I think we do. So this is the list of American films by their box office domestically. We're going to start at the top and work our way down until I get bored. Or until it gets close to midnight. Okay, so here are the top 10 grossing movies. And you got to wonder why most of these weren't on everybody's list to some extent or another. But some of them you can understand why they got. Okay. So this is by highest domestic gross. So that's only the gross in America. Number one, of course, is Barbie. $636 million domestically. It's a monster. It won the title. Number one. Number two, Super Mario Brothers movie. $574 million. Special note, Chris Pratt was in this movie and Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and combined, those two movies worldwide made $2 billion. So they'll always give that boy work. But Super Mario Brothers did really well. I didn't see it. I'm not that big of a fan of the movies. But I do like Pratt. I do love Charlie Day. So I will eventually see it streaming somewhere. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, we talked about this. $381 million. That did really well. There's no reason not to make a sequel. And there's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, $358 million at number 4. At number 5, Oppenheimer made $326 million. I think what hurt Oppenheimer, why it didn't make that $1 billion, it is too long. I think that hurt it. That was one of the complaints. They probably should have cut 10, 15 minutes off the damn thing. Number 6, The Little Mermaid. People say this lost money. I mean, I keep doing the math and I keep going, I think it probably made money with, if you add in the soundtrack. Or at least broke even. Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is at number 7. Both these movies shouldn't be on any quality lists, I'll say. But it did make $214 million domestically. Although when you consider the amount of money Disney spent on the damn thing, you can understand why it did make any money, apparently. I forget what the final budget on this thing was, but... Number 8, John Wick Chapter 4 from Lionsgate, $187 million. Again, this is all domestic. Number 9, Sound of Freedom, which didn't make any of the lists I read up until now, $184 million. Now, you can't tell me that movie doesn't deserve to be on one of those lists that I read. It absolutely deserves to be on it. First off, it took a controversial subject and it did it well. It did it for a relatively low budget from an obscure studio that this is their big hit. And it had a ton of traction to it. There is no way that should have been left off. And it should probably get some kind of Oscar. I'm not sure for what. Definitely for marketing the damn thing. As well as Barbenheimer should get some sort of... There should be best marketing of a movie for the Oscar, quite frankly. Number 10, Taylor Swift Eras Tour. $179 million. Wow. It's the 10th highest grossing movie. And that movie cost nothing. I guarantee it cost nothing to make. Because, again, they videotape everything now. On a tour? They're just going to videotape it just in case they need it. Just in case, like, I don't know, one of the dancers falls, or they're reviewing the tapes from the previous show, like, oh, we gotta change this up because this isn't working or whatever. Every stadium is wired to the gills with cameras. Just a matter of editing the damn thing. They got all the footage. They just take it. So this movie had to have done well in terms of profit. Had to. All the Swifties went, all right, now we get into it. Um, January to March. So this is only January to March. What order is this in? I guess this isn't in box office order from here on in. All right. So in January, Megan opened. That did well. The Old Way. That was Nick Cage. That looked good. He was like an old, I think he was an ex-gangster and he had to help his daughter or something. The Devil Conspiracy. Oh, God. That was... I did see it, the trailer. Oh, God. I can't think of what the plot was. It had something to do with Satanism. Plane with Gerard Butler. House Party, the remake. Waste of Celluloid. Sick. Joel Hymas John Hymas directed that. No, the Joel Hymas is someone else. That was a horror movie. The Drop. Doggone. This is all in January. There's Something Wrong with the Children. I remember that title. Missing. We talked about that. The Sun. When You Finish Saving the World. Look at all the titles that were left off of that 170 Rotten Tomatoes list. Detective Night, Independence. I believe that was Bruce Willis. Yeah, this was one of the last Bruce Willis movies. 2023 will be remembered as Bruce Willis's last hurrah. Kids versus Aliens. And most of the movies he was in, unfortunately, he wasn't totally with it. He was literally reading off of cue cards, they say, and he couldn't remember much. It's a shame. Teen Wolf the movie, not for me. I like the original Teen Wolf with Michael J. Fox. You People, was that? It was Jonah Hill and Eddie Murphy's in it. It's sort of like Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, except the family's black and the boyfriend's white. It got panned badly. Shotgun Wedding. That got a little play. It was Jennifer Lopez in a movie. Maybe I Do. Life Upside Down. Vaguely remember that. And Fear. That was January. Oh, and then Knock at the Cabin came out. Remember that? That was going to be a big movie from M. Night Shyamalan until it wasn't. But I called it, man. There was no way that premise was going to pay off. It was bizarre and stupid and weird. Everybody in South Jersey thought it was going to be about the Jersey Devil because he shot part of it in South Jersey. And since they showed the woods, everybody assumed it was going to be in the Pine Barrens. I think it does take place in the Pine Barrens, but he didn't shoot it in the Pine Barrens, the cabin scenes anyway. So yeah, it wasn't about the Jersey Devil. And I say thank God, because apparently it's not a very good movie. 80 for Brady. That's the other Jane Fonda movie that came out, one of many. That was probably the best one for her, I think, where she plays her and a bunch of other old ladies are in a team. They want to go see the Super Bowl and Tom Brady. And I don't know, it was based on a true story or something. Locksmith. The Locksmith. Baby Ruby. Freedom's Path. Magic Mike's Last Dance. Oh man, this movie crashed and burned. Steven Soderbergh directed it. How did this movie not make money? The other Magic Mike movies did great. I don't know why. I mean, I wouldn't have greenlit it, but the movie's not for me. I probably would have greenlit it if I was an exec, but, Oh, I'm getting a Happy New Year from one of my artists on the Webcomic Factory. Happy New Year to you, Hootsie. Hootsie Trujano, he draws Pandemonium. Sharper, Your Place or Mine. This is all February. Someone I Used to Know. Consecrations, The Outwaters. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Quantum Mania. Yeah, I knew when they released that in February it was doomed. Cocaine Bear. Oh, so close to being a good movie. So close. You effed it up, Elizabeth Banks. You effed up that movie in the third act. The first two acts are pretty damn good. The last act is an absolute travesty. We Have a Ghost. That was the one with David Harbour. Yeah, that didn't look good. Luther, The Fallen Son. A lot of people, this is Idris Elba. Yeah, this is the Luther movie. I still have to see this, but I hear it's really good. The Luther TV series was awesome. He's awesome in it. Jesus Revolution, this was that Kelsey Grammer vehicle where he's a preacher in the 60s, and he gets the hippies to join his church, basically. Bruiser, Linoleum, God's Time. Then in March 3rd, Creed 3, Operation Fortune Ruse de Guerre. This was a Guy Ritchie film with Jason Statham, Aubrey Plaza, Josh Hartnett, Carrie Ewells, Bugsy Malone, and Hugh Grant. And it looked pretty good, but I think the title killed it. Operation Fortune Ruse de Guerre? Like, what kind of title is that? Aubrey Plaza looking hot as F in that movie, by the way. A Little White Lie, Children of the Corn. Totally didn't need the remake of that. Palm Trees and Power Lines, The Year Between, Unseen, Craving, Scream 6, 65, this was Adam Driver, looked dumb. Champions, Chang Can Dunk, Southern Gospel, Shazam! Fury of the Gods, Boston Strangler, The Magician's Elephant. Look at all the movies that weren't on that other list. Now, most of them suck here, but still. Moving on, Wildflower, Supercell, Pinball, The Man Who Saved the Game. We're at 11:38. I got to keep track of the time. John Wick, Chapter 4, A Good Person, The Tutor, The Last Sentinel, Aladdin, spelled differently, Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Amongst Thieves, Murder Mystery 2, Tetris, Spinning Gold, Space Oddity, 1001, Assassin, Acid Man, Acid Man, and Malum. Moving to April to June. April, Miracle at Manchester, the Super Mario Brothers movie, Air. Ever see a movie about a shoe? Praise This, Showing Up. Paint, On a Wing and a Prayer. Chupa. Oh, by the way, Paint, that was Owen Wilson as Bob Ross, or a character just like him. How to Blow Up a Pipeline. Shouldn't have made that one. One True Love's Beautiful Disaster. I remember that one. Who's in that? Virginia Gardner. Renfield. I had high hopes for that. Man, Nicolas Cage as Dracula, and it's not good. People told me it's just awful. Beau is Afraid. Another movie I thought would be decent, but doesn't sound like it was. The Pope's Exorcist. Another movie I thought was interesting. Russell Crowe's in it. It looked like a high-end version of all those possession movies, but didn't do very well. Mafia Mama, Sweetwater, Nefarious, Rare Objects. Oh, Nefarious. Wasn't that movie? Yeah, that was that movie. Everybody in the right-wing blogosphere pushed that movie as some sort of, like, neat, I don't know, that everybody was pushing it. Breitbart, a few other guys. I mean, it looked okay, but it was very low budget, I think. Rare Objects, Quasi, Evil Dead Rise, Guy Ritchie's Covenant. That looked really good, too. Ghosted, Chevalier, Somewhere in Queens, Carmen, A Tourist Guide to Love, The Artifice Girl, Peter Pan and Wendy. That looked awful. I remember that one. God-awful version of Peter Pan and Wendy. I believe that's the one where all the girls get a... Yeah, it was a Disney Plus deal and the girls take over. It was a girl boss thing. Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Big George Foreman. Sisu. Gotta see that movie. And Clock. Going into May. Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Love Again. Book Club. The Next Chapter. The Mother. Fool's Paradise. Ooh. Hearing fireworks. Hypnotic. Crater. Knights of the Zodiac. Monica. The Starling Girl. Rally Road Racers. Fast X. Oh yeah, that came out. Kind of came and went. Didn't make any list, you'll notice. That's weird. White Man Can't Jump, a remake that didn't need to happen. Master Gardener, that looked good. It's Paul Schrader directed and screenplay by. Sanctuary, Robots, Moon Garden, The Little Mermaid, ugh. About My Father, Kandahar, The Machine. I saw that. That was pretty good. Pretty funny. What's the name? Bert Kirshner. is basically it's his stand-up act in real life, and Mark Hamill plays his dad, who I tolerated, although I can't stand his politics these days. He is terminal TDS, that guy. You Hurt My Feelings, The Wrath of Becky, and Reality. June, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, The Boogeyman, Past Lives, Shooting Stars, Transformers, Rise of the Beast. I hear it's pretty watchable, surprisingly. Flaming Hot, Daliland, that looked okay. Jagged Mind, The Flash, no. Elemental, no. Asteroid City, I wish it had done well. Extraction 2, awesome. The Blackening, dear God, no. Surrounded, no hard feelings. I still want to see that because Jennifer Lawrence is naked. The Perfect Fine, World's Best, God is a Bullet, Wonderwell, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Oh, completely forgot about this movie. You monsters. You monsters. I mean, the South Park episode has come true. Look, they're doing it. They're raping Indy. It's unbelievable. You guys screwed that up so badly. Ruby Gilman, Teenage Kraken. that it was another Jane Fonda movie. It was a cartoon though. Nimona, Confidential Informant, Prisoner's Daughter, and The Unseen. July, September. Sound of Freedom. Very good movie. I saw that. Deserves something. Insidious, The Red Door. Joyride looked terrible. The Outlaws. I saw that. That was pretty funny. That's Adam Devine and Pierce Bronson. Adam Devine is a bank manager who's marrying this girl, and his new in-laws are actually bank robbers in secret. And who's the mom? Ellen Barkin. So it's Ellen Barkin and Pierce Bronson. They're secretly bank robbers. And then Adam has to help him rob a bank to save his bride. It's pretty good. You should see it. See it. It's very funny. Earth Mama, Biosphere, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. Yeah, that didn't do as well as I think he thought it would, but Cruise didn't get the opening date he wanted. I think it'll do better once the second one comes out. They Clone Tyrone, awesome, see it. Theater Camp, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Beanie Baby Bubble. I remember that. I lived that live. Cobweb, Haunted Mansion, ugh. Sympathy for the Devil. Vaguely remember that one. Oh yeah, it's Nick Cage. Circus Maximus, Happiness for Beginners, War Pony, The Unknown Country. And then, let's see, that was July, so this is August. Blue Hour, The Disappearance of Nick Bandreth. Or Bandreth. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Mike and Fred versus the Dead. Well, that sounds cool. Sounds like a zombie movie. Meg 2, The Trench. That movie looked terrible, but like fun terrible at least. Shortcomings, Dreaming Wild, Corner Office, What Comes Around, The Passenger, Last Voyage of the Demeter. That was a disappointment. That looked awesome in the trailer, but I hear it's barely watchable. Although I have one friend who liked it. Heart of Stone, Red, White, and Royal Blue. Blech. Jules, Inside Man, Blue Beetle, Strays. That also looked good. That was Will Ferrell, a bunch of other actors voicing dogs, and what's the name? Oh God, I forget. I always forget the guy who played Will Forte. There he is. Will Forte plays his master, and he actually hates him, but he can't get rid of him. And it's about him. It's about Will Ferrell's dog character on a mission to go back and bite him in the nads. It looks a lot of fun. The Monkey King, Landscape with Invisible Hand, Back to the Strip, The Adults, Gran Turismo. That movie did not look like it should have done well. It did okay, I think. Retribution, Vacation Friends 2. I can't believe they made a sequel to that. But then again, I can't believe they make sequels to any John Cena movie. You Are So Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah, Bottoms, Golda, The Hill. September, Equalizer 3. That's the one with Denzel Washington, not the one with Queen Latifah. The Good Mother, All Fun and Games. Yoshiki, Under the Sky, The Nun 2, that did well. My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3, I think we're at the end of that. Sitting in Bars with Cake, should not have been on that list. Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe, all shows shouldn't have been on that list. After Everything, A Haunting in Venice, Dumb Money, Love at First Sight, A Million Miles Away, The Retirement Plan. That one sounds familiar. Who was that? Oh, another Nick Cage. Oh, that's the one where he plays the former mob guy who helps his daughter. I forget the other one. Outlaw Johnny Black. That looked good too. That's Michael Jai White in his character is supposed to be like Dolomite, but he's not Dolomite. But they actually make a whole movie, but like it's purposely bad. That looks fun. Camp Hideout. The Expendables 4. Never should have done a 4. They look like they really cut the money back on that one. Spy Kids Armageddon. Reptile. Cassandro. Flora and Son. No One Will Save You. That one looks really good. I want to see that. It Lives Inside. Everyone Dies by the End. Oh, cheery. The Kill Room. The Creator. That movie, I think they wanted it to do really well, and it just did not. Saw 10. Fair Play. Heist 88. The Re-Education of Molly Singer, and Deliver Us. Finally, October to December, Oracle, Appendage, The Exorcist Believer, Pet Sematary, Bloodlines. Was that a movie or a TV show? This was the thing, I think it was based after Judd Crandall, who was the guy played by Herman Munster in the original Pet Sematary, but it's him as a young man? It was bizarre they made this. It was a weird spin-off to Pet Sematary. Totally Killer, VHS 85, The Kane Mutiny Court Martial, Dix the Musical. Probably the worst looking trailer I've ever seen. It looks brutally bad. It looks like a theater major's version of an outrageous comedy, like a theater major trying to be outrageous like South Park and failing miserably. Foe, Bleach Demon is here. Kane Mutiny sequel? Well, that's something. I don't know, I guess. It's written by William Friedkin, and he directed it too. So I bet it's good. Foe, She Came to Me, The Burial, Desperation Road, Miranda's Victim, Cat Person, The Mill, Down the Line, Dark Harvest, Taylor Swift, The Eras Tour, Dear David, Divinity, In the Fire, Killers of a Flower Moon, Pain Hustlers. That was a movie about like oxycodone, people making money on it. Naiad, Old Dads. That was that Bill Burr thing. Man, his wife messed him up, I think. Man, she should not have flipped off Trump. Or if she was going to do it, she should have been by herself, not sitting right next to him. Talk about putting him in a bad position, I think. Butcher's Crossing, The Other Zoe, Sick Girl, the Persian Version, Five Nights at Freddy's, Freelance, The Killer, Under the Boardwalk, Priscilla, The Holdovers, Fingernails, Suitable Flesh, Sight, Hell House, LLC, Origins, The Carmichael Manor. It's a terrible title. Why is it so long? Let's see. This would be November. Quiz Lady, Rustin, The Marsh King's Daughter, What Happens Later, All Dirt Roads, Taste of Salt, Helen's Dead, At the Gates, Rumble Through the Dark, The Marvels, Dream Scenario, Journey to Bethlehem, Your Lucky Day, It's a Wonderful Knife. Yes, they made a slasher movie called It's a Wonderful Knife. And it actually looked okay. I mean, for slasher movie. Manodrome just did not look good, in my view. Best Christmas Ever, another very odd movie, but I won't get into it. The Hunger Games, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, Trolls Band Together, Thanksgiving, Next Goal Wins. I'm kind of glad Taika Waititi took one on the chin finally, because I think he kind of deserves to lose for a while until he gets back to his origins of actually doing comedies and he stays in his effing lane and stops trying to ruin stuff and stop it with your... I think it's all gone to his head, Taika Waititi. I think he's a talent, but he needs to be humbled. Saltburn, May, December, Dashing Through the Snow, Please Don't Destroy, The Treasure of Foggy Mountain. I'm thinking this is a really good movie because it looks funny as F. I saw the trailer. It looks amazing. Leo, Wish, Napoleon, Maestro, Leave the World Behind, Good Burger 2, Genie, and Family Switch, which was very controversial because, like, it's a Freaky Friday thing where the parents trade place with the kids, but some odd stuff kind of happened. So, yeah. Anyhow, December, Renaissance, a film by Beyonce, trying to make Taylor Swift money. Silent Night, Candy Cane Lane, which is an A. Murphy movie. It didn't look too bad, but I don't know. It didn't get great reviews. Eileen, The Shift, another Angel Studios flick. Holiday Twist, Abigail, Waitress, Poor Things, Origin, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Christmas, Cabin Fever. The Cello, The Oath, checking the time, we got about 7 minutes. Wonka, Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget, Rebel Moon, American Fiction, Family Plan, Finest Kind, Jenna Ortega's in that, Zone of Interest, The Zone of Interest, City Love, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, Migration, Anyone But You, The Iron Claw, Freud's Last Session, I believe that's Anthony Hopkins as Sigmund Freud, Memory, The Color Purple, The Boys in the Boat, Ferrari, and Good Grief, which is the last movie. Oh, that's a Dan Levy movie, son of Eugene Levy. I don't know, man. It's supposed to be like kind of. It's not supposed to be him, but it's one of those stories that's kind of him. But like, it's a story like, oh, I'm feeling kind of depressed. I think I'll go to Paris, and I'll bring my friends, and that'll cheer me up. You know, like everybody does, right? Like when you're sad, don't you think to yourself, I think I'll just go to Paris for a week, and I'll pay for my friends. Yeah, that sounds like a everybody normal person. I could really relate to my friends, you know, just suddenly saying, hey, let's all go to Paris for 2 weeks. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, we've got nothing else better to do, and we've got tons of money, yeah. I think Dan Levy is a little too rich to write a story that kind of connects with people. But good for him, writing what he knows, being rich, I guess. Anyhow, all right, we got to find something to watch for the countdown. That was the one thing I forgot to do. So what can we find to watch? Do we have anything for a countdown? I'm going to search for a couple of things. How many minutes we got? We got about 5 minutes here. So I'm going to say Hamilton Blueberry Drop 2023. Now maybe we'll get lucky and they have a camera on the giant blueberry in Hamilton. I don't think they do, though. It's a little too sophisticated for Hamilton. So I could show you a picture of it probably. Let's see. Yeah, here's the giant blueberry. Right here. It drops. This is the New Year's. I guess this is last year. So you can see it there. The giant blueberry dropping. So if I could find a live shot of that, that would be fun. But I don't think there is a live. Well, maybe on Facebook they might have a live camera. That would be easy to do. No. Oop. I don't want to. That was So this is the annual New Year's Eve bash in Hamilton. But no live camera. Damn it. Downtown Hamilton. Maybe you have it? Oh, yes, there is a live camera. Okay, great. Now we have something to watch. So we got a live camera for the blueberry drop. All right, so we'll come back to this when it's time. We still got a couple of minutes. So we'll fart around with some trade stuff. Don't let me forget. I know there's a lag, but when we get down to like 11:58, I'll switch over there. So over at Variety, Dave Chappelle's special dropped, but he just left in the middle of a show recently because he was mad that one of the audience members had his cell phone out. I guess he was taping him. I don't understand why there can't be a mechanism for people seeing a show, especially a stand-up guy, where they throw you out if you start taping the show. Like, he didn't come back and finish the show, which I kind of don't blame him because it probably really wrecked his flow and probably really threw him off. And, you know, he's rich enough he could blow off one show, but kind of sucks if you paid all that money to see Dave Chappelle. Maybe they gave it back. I don't know. Oh boy, losing my voice a little bit. All right, we're at 11:57. Anything else? Most anticipated TV shows of 2024. Okay, we can laugh at this for a minute, I guess. Oh, you don't have bullet points? Oh, wait, here we go. The Brother's Son. I don't know what that is. January 4th on Netflix. Grimsburg. This is going to be a new comedy starring John Hamm. This might work for him. John Hamm can be funny, I think, but it's a cartoon, so you won't see him. So the cartoon can be funny, where I think John Hamm kind of can't be funny visually sometimes. Echo, this is going to be a train wreck, I think. Ted, I mean, it'll probably be okay. You know, I don't know. I don't like prequels. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, like I said, I think Seth MacFarlane is living in the 90s anyway, so. Criminal Record, I don't know that one. It's on Apple. The Traitors, I don't know, on Peacock. True Detective Night Country. Is anybody still watching this thing? I really loved the first one, but man, second one really let me down. Death and Other Details, don't know that one. The Way Home, don't know that one. The Bachelor, ugh, who wants to see that? Griselda, I guess. Expats, I think I saw the trailer for this. It's Nicole Kidman. I can't get behind most Nicole Kidman. All right, let's go. Let's cut to the live feed. I think we're just a bit. You better give me a good shot of this blueberry, damn it. I'm going to leave the sound off because otherwise I'll get flagged by YouTube. I don't even know if I'll get flagged here, but I assume I'm okay on a feed like this, but you never know. So Happy New Year to everyone. We will count down soon. Nobody watches any of these. LOL, says Kite. Yeah, the TV shows. Who watches TV anymore? Going to count down 10 seconds, all right? Okay. I think we're finally here. So there'll be a bit of a lag. You guys will probably have already counted to 0. Oh, we got 30 seconds left. Sorry this can't be perfectly live. Someday I'll figure that out. There's the giant blueberry. Okay. Hamilton. It's Hamilton. All right. Start the countdown. Come on. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! Happy New Year, everybody. See, we don't have a poll. It's just on a crane. So we are officially in 2024, Joan. 2024. You don't know. You're a dog. You don't understand time. She doesn't understand the concept of time. Let me get back to what I was doing. Just get back. Where was it? Where was that? It was on Variety? Oh, yeah, it was. So, Bleach Demon, Happy New Year 2023. And F right off. I don't know. It wasn't that bad. Happy New Year, Kite. Happy New Year, Bleach Demon. Happy New Year, everyone. Oh, man. Big explosions outside. It's okay, Joan. It's okay. You don't have to worry about the explosions. She's pretty good with the fireworks, generally speaking. I keep her in, though. Some dogs, they go cuckoo bananas. I had a relative who owned a dog. Oh, man. When the fireworks went off, that dog lost its mind. Could not take it. We locked it in a bathroom one July 4th, figuring that would be the best place if he peed or whatever. And we forgot there was like a wicker basket in there. He tore it to pieces and then grabbed everything in the room we had left in there. It was a bathroom, so he grabbed towels and stuff and threw them all over the place. Poor guy. All right. So we are in 2024. So hopefully it's going to be a good year. I think it could be. Look, I know there's a lot of doom and gloom. There's a lot of doom and gloom. It's going to be crazy. But remember the old saying from Game of Thrones, Littlefinger, when the show was still good, chaos is a ladder. And it's an opportunity So I'm all about opportunity. Damn it. So hopefully this year will be an exciting one. Not too exciting, but maybe this will be my breakout year. I'm looking forward to my episode of a TV show that's going to air soon. I'll just click over to that. I'll be on All Things South Jersey with Chris Wilhelm. Yeah, it hasn't posted yet. I think it posts Tuesday. So that could be big for me. I mean, it's not a big TV show, but it could be good. You never know. All right, so speaking of TV, let's see. Expats. Yeah, that doesn't look great. I mean, it looks like standard drama stuff, but they look like they spent way too much money on it. I mean, Nicole Kidman? It had to cost you a penny. But everybody's doing TV. Masters of the Air. Another World War, you know what, movie. It's like, how much more of this can you do? What else? Vanderpump Rules. I have no interest in that. Feud. Capote versus the Swans. I don't know what this is. What is this? After 7 years, the second installment of Feud has arrived. No idea. Genesis, MLK, X. Again, they do a lot of movies about this era too. I don't know. Mr. and Mrs. Smith. No, they shouldn't have done this. It does not look good. I don't know why, and it's a new take. Like, why even call it Mr. and Mrs. Smith if you're not doing the same thing? Unless you could tie it into the first one, I don't know why you did this. Curb Your Enthusiasm is awesome. This is the final season, by the way. Final season of Curb. So enjoy. One Day. Don't know that. Tracker? Meh. It looks like, reminds me of Bear Grylls. Love is Blind. No thanks. Avatar: The Last Airbender. How many times are they going to try to make this thing? I mean, I don't know. Maybe. The Walking Dead. Oh my God, they're still on TV? How is this still on TV? Does AMC have nothing else? I guess not. I mean, The Walking Dead and Ethan Van Sciver is just going through. He's up to season 8 on The Walking Dead. He's been binge watching it. This is a brutal show, in my opinion. It's the only show I've ever seen. I'm going to try not to go too ranty on this, but it's the only show I've ever seen. The season finale of the first season, which wasn't bad, it was the best season, ends and almost ruins the entire season. It's so bad, the final episode of that season. It's something that's not in the comic at all. It sets up a total ridiculous cliffhanger that's kind of resolved in the same episode. Makes no sense. 0 sense. It was like they were trying to over-explain zombies. And then it was all downhill from there. And I hung on probably to the season where they kill a certain character. I won't give it away in case you want to watch it. But the thing that killed me about The Walking Dead, it had no memory, no institutional memory whatsoever. The characters would do things to get around the zombies, and then in other episodes kind of forget they did that. They also had the worst blocking of any TV show I've ever seen, hands down. You would see stuff in the background and go, well, why don't they just run over there? So there's a scene in which characters get trapped in an alley. Now, first off, this is Georgia, and it wasn't Georgia like Atlanta. So the chances of there being an alley are like, there's no alleys, really, in Georgia. Not the kind of alleys that you wouldn't be able to get out of. On top of the fact, like, you know, in this world, the grass would grow completely out of control in Georgia. You wouldn't even be able to get down the damn alley if it had a dirt floor, or even if it didn't half the time. There would be grass everywhere. But so they go down this alley, and in the background is a fire escape for the building that one side of the alley is in, and it's filled with furniture, right? So the zombies can't climb up it, but humans can. So they run right past it to stand on a dumpster And then and it's against the fence, so like they could climb up the fence. And it's right next to the building, so they could climb to the top of the fence and get on the top of the building. But they just don't even do that. Instead, they stand on the dumpster. Now, in previous episodes, Storebang is here. Hey! Welcome. Happy New Year, Storebang. Oh, that's what you wrote. HNY. Happy New Year. So, they just completely ignore it. And that's what drove me crazy about The Walking Dead. Ugh. Don't put that in the background if these people are trying to escape zombies for real. Friggin' ugh. Makes me so mad. Shogun. I mean, they did this already, but fine, whatever. Elsbeth. No idea. Looks quirky. The Regime. I think I did a trailer thing on this. I don't know. I mean, it could be a good send-up of authoritarian regimes, but I don't know. Doesn't seem all that important to watch. Girls 5 Eva. No idea what that is. A musical comedy? Okay. 911 Grey's Anatomy. How long has this show been on? It's another one. Manhunt. Is that Abe Lincoln? Manhunt, the 12-day chase for Lincoln's killer. Oh, okay. It is Abe Lincoln. All right. Palm Royale. No idea. Three-body problem. Okay. I like the name of that. Oh, it's Sam from, what's the name? Game of Thrones. Okay. It's based on a best-selling book series. Fallout. This looks woke already, unfortunately. That's a shame. This could have been good. And I could have seen it on Amazon Prime. Bridgerton. Not my thing. I don't know. Is it any good? And that's it. And that's it. They only went up to May. I guess nothing's coming out after May. Well, that's too bad. Poor television. Over at Hollywood Reporter. More on Wonka. Man, the fireworks are going off. I have to do this at least until the fireworks stop, because otherwise Joan will be able to hear them. 2023 box office. Domestic revenue clears $9 billion in post-pandemic first. Thanks, Barbenheimer. Hold up. $1 billion of that was Mario Brothers, and a second $1 billion combined with Mario is Guardians of the Galaxy. You should thank Chris Pratt. He, you know, Margot Robbie was in other movies too, and a lot of them tanked. Where was Babylon? I didn't see Babylon on that list, or was that last year? Maybe it was last year. More on Dave Chappelle. Rebel Moon stars Nair on his showcase flight scene and the twist he dreaded most. They're really trying to push this Rebel Moon. I hear not good things about it. Not really hearing any good things for Rebel Moon. Again, I mean, I wouldn't trust it because Zack Snyder, again, amazing visual guy. If I had him on the Pineys, it would be great. But only if he listened to every word I told him about the story. Only if he followed my books exactly as they are written. And I'd have no problem with him. Because when he followed the comic in 300, and he basically followed the comic in Watchmen, those movies were great. When he's picking his own stories, I think he's in over his head. I don't know, he just doesn't have a good sense of story, I think. My opinion. Oh, come on. This is Bounding into Comics. So the guys at Fandom Pulse, where's Fandom Pulse? Oh, you know what? I think I accidentally shut off Fandom Pulse, so let me bring it back up. So the guys at Fandom Pulse are the new rivals for, oh, shit. Sorry. The new rivals for Bounding into Comics. And there's some John Del Arraz. I guess he worked for Bounding for a while, and now he's kind of started his own site. Or maybe he's just working for this site instead. And he's kind of kind of portraying it like, you know, Bounding kind of sold out and like he's the new guy out on the edge, I guess. I'm not totally sure that's true. He's certainly more outspoken than even Bounding in the comics is. But we'll see. So this is his site, but first I was in Bounding, so let's start with Bounding. 10 worst films of 2023. Yeah, let's take a look at that. All right, this is Bounding in the Comics, 10 worst films of 2023. All right. Number 10, The Marvels. Yep, I would put that on the list. I'd agree with that. Pretty bad. Number 9, The Creators. I'm kind of surprised, but I kind of have to agree with it, I guess, because did terribly. It looked kind of cool. I mean, some of the effects look cool, but yeah. Scream 6, yeah, put that on the list. Any Scream movie, put it on the list. Don't care about that stupid franchise. House Party is a remake of the original House Party. The original House Party wasn't that good, quite frankly, but it was all right. It kind of had a good premise, but apparently they didn't pull it off. The Color Purple trailer. You guys gotta bold your bullet points here, and there's too many ads. Hate doing these live. That's why I archive them a lot of times. Knock at the Cabin. Yeah, I knew they couldn't pull this off. Poor Ron Weasley, who's also in it. The Blackening absolutely should be on this list. It looks horrific. Looks horrific. Looks stupid. Joyride. Yep, I agree with that one. I'm going to pick... I'm thinking that number 1 will be Dix the Musical. It should be. But we'll see. See if it gets it. Number 2, 80 for Brady. Yep, there's Jane Fonda with a wig on. And Rita Moreno, Sally Field, and Lily Tomlin as these 4 old ladies who wanted to go see Brady at the Super Bowl. And I don't know, they lose their tickets or whatever, and they have to do things to get it. It was released during the Super Bowl. And Jane Fonda plays, you know, out of the old ladies, she was the hot girl in the group. And she's like banging dudes, I think. And finally, Dix the Musical. There it is. There it is. Looked absolutely horrific. Absolutely horrific. Blasphemy, degeneracy, incest, and progressivism all rolled into one god-awful movie. Dix the Musical is a film about 2 pillow biters pretending to be straight, womanizing misogynistic businessmen who also happen to be brothers. Yeah. No thanks. Alright. So that was Bounding. Now where... Did I close Fandom Pulse a second time? No, here it is. Here it is right here. Okay. Alright, so Fandom Pulse. Toho Studios Godzilla -1 won Skironks to highest grossing Godzilla film ever with 78 million global box office. Good for them. I can't wait to see this. Look at this. Look at this shot. That's cool. Marvel and DC writers Mags Visaggio and Sean McKeever beg for rent money online while comic industry collapses. And here's the bizarre thing about Mags, other than the other obvious bizarre things about Mags, but not only is she begging for money online, apparently, but she is doing the comic book adaptation of Rebel Moon. Now, how is she not getting a good fee for that? Did she agree to do it for nothing? I mean, you'd think that would be enough. Now, like, it's only a comic book. She's only the writer. So, you know, but still, you got to figure she should be able to pay her rent for the time she's writing the comic. Sean McKeever, I knew guys who worked with Sean McKeever, and that's very interesting that he is also doing that. That's weird. That's weird. The artists I know who worked with him, I don't think they had nice things to say about him. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, not thinking they had nice things to say, but not totally bad, but not great. So weird, weird. Uh, let's see. Actor Ed Sheeran hopes tentacle porn in Zack Snyder's director's cut will save Rebel Moon. What? Really? That's in there? Is that what that is? I saw a clip. Ugh. Mark Millar was right. Screenwriters can't come up with anything, while Zack Snyder hoped Rebel Moon becomes a massive IP. No, good screenwriters can come up with things. The problem is they have no power, and Hollywood doesn't want to help that along at all. They've done jack. Holly says, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Holly. Hollywood has done jack to help screenwriters. They don't pay them well, and they have no power. They might as well be typists. Unfortunately, there should be some power. See, this would help Rebel Moon. Like, if there was some mechanism in place that a screenwriter could say to Zack Snyder, listen, Zack, I like your ideas and I like working with you, but you don't have a good story here. We have to change things, and I'm not going to budge on certain things. It would have helped them. It would make it, it might not make it the best thing, but it would make it watchable. It would follow the necessary steps you would have in a hero's journey. It would follow like the 3-act structure. It would be better, I promise you, even with a screenwriter who wasn't that good. But this was a crazy story. China gaming market takes $80 billion loss, limiting in-game rewards for daily first-time players. Isn't that crazy? That there's that much money in China gaming? It's crazy. This is online gaming we're talking about. $80 billion. That's a lot of dollars. Just saying. All right, moving on. Deadline. Best movies. We did that one. We did that list. Top documentaries. I don't care. Scott Frank discusses films he's worked on as a script doctor, including Saving Private Ryan, Gravity, and a lot of X-Men movies. Let me tell you something. Gravity's one of the worst pieces of crap I've ever seen. You didn't script doctor it enough. You did not save that patient, buddy. That movie sucks, in my view. Saving Private Ryan, that's decent. X-Men movies, some of them are good. So, you're hit or miss. But man, that Gravity, I hate that effing movie. I hate that movie. It might not be his fault, though. Another problem, again, with screenwriters and script doctors. Kind of the same thing. We're all script doctors in our own way. I've been a script doctor. That's a bigger nightmare than you can imagine, though. When you got to fix another screenwriter's problems, oof. Because sometimes they show you a script, it's barely a script. If it's a script at all. They might just give you notes. Oh, it's awful. It's awful. And then you're trying to please everybody. Oh, you can forget about the screenwriter. You ain't going to please him. He's pissed you had to call in a script doctor. And it's not always a good thing. Sometimes they call in a script doctor and they make it worse. But usually not. Usually the script doctor is an older guy who says... But I did have an experience where the older script doctor was like using the oldest names. Like he kept creating characters and he kept using the oldest names you can possibly think of. So like I think one of his names for a female character was Sadie. And I looked at him and went, Sadie? What is this, 1920? This is the modern day, dude. Nobody's called Sadie anymore. You got to think of a better name than that. Taylor Swift passes Elvis for most weeks at #1 on album charts for a solo artist. That means nothing anymore, but congrats to her, I guess. How to watch the New Year's Eve specials on TV? Well, you just watch here on Hollywoke Hot Take. We do it all. You just stick with me. That's how you do it. Cosmic Book News. Deadpool 3. Ryan Reynolds suits up with Sean Levy. That should be a decent flick. I'm hoping. Aquaman 2 box office obliterates the Marvels. Wait a minute. Hold the phone. Did it? Aquaman 2, The Lost Kingdom. Yeah, it did. Because Marvel's, they're still at 199. They're at 251. And they still got a few weeks to go. So this will probably crack 300. So, well, that won't be money, but it won't be as big a loss, I'll say. Really, the Marvels had to make, if the reports are true, that movie had to make $650 million just to break even. And really, it probably should have made $1 billion to make it worth all the trouble. But, yeah, it's not. All right. What If and Ms. Marvel writer exits Marvel. Oh, no. Oh, no. Where will we get girl bosses now? What If Season 2 finale review and Reddit reacts. Oh, boy. Just what I want to hear. What the commies think of What If. And I think we're at the end, folks. Yes, we are. I got the wrap here, but there's never anything great at the wrap, I don't think. No. Led by Wonka, holiday films push 2023's box office past $9 billion. Yeah, we already got that. Oh, Shecky Green died. I don't know if you know him. He was like an old Borscht Belt comedian. I didn't even know he was still alive. 97. That's a good run. But, yeah. So we learned a lot tonight. We learned that Time Magazine has no taste in movies, I think. We learned that Rotten Tomatoes is a complete waste of time, I think. I think that's true. We learned that nobody really has good lists for movies of 2023. It was only so good. But I think 2024, in terms of movies, has to be better. Only because they won't have the pandemic as an excuse anymore, number one. Number two, the chickens are coming home to roost. I think some of these companies, if they're not completely pulling out of woke, they're just pulling it back. Just enough. They're at least going to hide it better, which should improve things somewhat, because the next phase, I think, will be people will go to the movies and they'll tolerate a certain amount of wokeness, but they won't tolerate too much. So if a movie, they cut a trailer and there's no woke in it, and then people go and it's just super woke, people will be pissed, and the movie will get panned and it'll crash. And that will drive them to pull back even further, I hope. Then there will be, I predict, in 2024, a movie that is completely not woke, like very based, not the Sound of Freedom based, but more like like Lady Ballers. I forgot to mention Lady Ballers. You know what? Lady Ballers should have been on the damn list. A movie like Lady Ballers, except it'll hit Hollywood somehow. Either they'll make it and just release it without checking it, like they did with Blazing Saddles, or they'll buy it and just cynically be like, oh yeah, we never did that woke stuff. And it'll be a huge monster hit. And that monster hit will then finally break the spell of woke stuff. You'll see studios finally go, okay, there's no point in doing this anymore. We've lost our shirt on too many movies. Disney has fallen apart. Let's get out of this. And Peter Boghossian, who's, for lack of a better term, he was an academic. He was in Portland. He got out of there. Kind of like, the guy who left Green Tree University, Brett Weinstein, if you remember him. He was the guy I partly based Wokistan, another novel on. His experiences, sort of, that was like an inspiration for the story. And anyhow, he predicts that within 6 months, the Democratic Party is going to throw all the woke stuff right under the bus, like hard. in an attempt to cynically bring back the voters and say, oh, yeah, we were never into that. Kind of like what they did with gay marriage in reverse. With gay marriage, the Democrats held the line and said, no, we're not for gay marriage, but we're all for civil unions and blah, blah, blah. And then suddenly, when it was safe, they were like, oh, we love gay marriage. We always did. So it's going to be similar to that. It's going to be like, oh, yeah, we're done with woke stuff. Oh, we never were really into it. So when that happens, it'll give Hollywood the permission to abandon it too. And between all their losses, and they may be already secretly doing it behind the scenes, so when the movies come out, they'll time it just perfectly, because they may have gotten the advance word, yeah, we're going to abandon all this stuff by, I don't know, let's say March of 2024 for my birthday. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be a nice birthday present? March 9th. So at that point, the studios will go, okay, we get out of this, on to the next thing, whatever it is. Maybe it'll be a raunchy comedy. Maybe it'll be video game movies. Maybe it'll be concert movies. It'll be a combination of the two somehow. I think video game movies are definitely top of that list. Somebody just bought up Sega games. They're going to make TV shows and movies based on that. They seem to be doing okay. Five Nights at Freddy's, Mario Brothers, Gran Turismo did okay. I think it still lost money, though. It might have just broke even, but I think they spent too much. They're also going to hopefully pull back their budgets, because I think they're spending too much money on the movie, and that can be a bad thing, too, because like I've always said, movie productions they throw a giant pile of money, and everybody who works on the movie grabs the money until it's gone. So if you're working in the art production house, you're going to try to get as much as that money as possible. And you can get extra money by working extra, hiring more people, or whatever. And there is buffer money put into a movie budget. So people know that, and people want it. So people go for it. And they may or may not care about the actual story. And that's the bottom line. That's the way it works. So, I worked on a couple of movies, and it was just like that. It was weird to see. And the producers who hold the line are the guys who are doing their job. Like, they have to hold the line. You sure you need this money? What do you need this money for? Why are we spending this money? And you will see, in the old days, people would complain, oh, we didn't get enough money, we couldn't do all the things we wanted to do. But they will do stupid things sometimes. I worked on a movie where the director used a crane shot for the least important scene in the damn movie. And then he burned through all the money in the budget. And by the end of the movie, the most important scenes, there was no money for it. And didn't shoot them very well. He should have budgeted better. And unfortunately, the producer didn't really stop him. And they finished the movie, but they kind of ran out of money at the same time. And when that happens, you get a movie like Vampires by John Carpenter, if you've ever seen that. The first act and maybe half of the second act is amazing, and then it just kind of falls apart. I think they ran out of money. So anyhow, I'm rambling, so I'm gonna wrap it here. Final thoughts, if you have any, please share. Joan would like to wish you all a happy new year as she licks her own crotch. I'll cover that up. Sorry about that. I would like to wish everybody a happy 2024. I hope you all your dreams are realized. And if they are, I hope you remember me and my dream of selling everybody books. And I had a dream, I will tell you, that I sold 6 million books. And then I was so happy I sold that many. What I was doing, after I started to hit, I sold 50,000 books, and I got a t-shirt, 50,000 books sold. And then I sold 1 million books, and then I got 1 million. And then the dream didn't end until I got to 6 million books, and then the dream ended. I didn't die or anything, but I got to 6 million. So that's my dream, an actual dream of selling 6 million books of the Pineys. I assume it's the Pineys. I don't know if in the dream it was the Pineys. Maybe it was a different book, but you never know. You never know. So I hope everybody in 2024 realizes their dreams. So focus, think of your dream. It's going to come true. All right. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for tuning in to my 3.5-hour live stream. I'm going to go hit the bathroom again, maybe get a snack. I think I got to do one more video before I go to bed. And I might finish the game I had started prior to this when I was almost late coming in for the live stream. I shouldn't do that. So have a good night, everybody. Have a good 2024. Thanks for finishing out the year with me. And we'll see you in the next one. End stream. End stream. All right. And